Back off, War Child. Seriously.
Get over here!
Mic one, check 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 one. My mic sounds nice. Hello, 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 hello. What's coming in?
Back off, War Child. Seriously.
Okay, here we go. What up, Rubio? What's going on, Austin? What's up, Lex Steel? What's going on, Portly gentlemen? How are you, man? Hopefully you're back safe from Michigan. Todd Addison, what's up? Hey, my t-shirt arrived today. I love it. Thank you for supporting, Braj. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Austin Maddox, thank you for subscribing to Homebrew for Life. We're here. It's Wednesday night. It's my favorite night of the week. And I'm already sweating. What's up, Noel? What's going on, man? Mime edition. Yeah. Jack Martino, what's up? Jules Game Art. Hector Topetti. Eargasm. Does that mean I'm too loud? Apartment Brewer, I've got you written down. We're going to have some mandatory beer chugs. I've got Gnome Brewing out there in Rhode Island. He's another East Coast barrage. He sent me some beer. We're going to be drinking that. Let us know what you're drinking. If you guys have any questions at any time, please post them in the comment section. Somebody will answer your question. Probably better than I ever could, especially when you're talking to people like Portly Gentleman and Apartment Brewer and Jules Game Art. That thumbnail had me laughing. Yeah, he's coming up right now. Just wanted to give a quick little shout out. What we got coming up tonight. We're talking about brown ales making a comeback. We're talking about stuck fermentation. We're talking about less is more with certain beer styles. There's just way too many IPA recipes with way too many hops. Brian short-circuited on refractometers. For those who didn't watch his video this week, shame on you. And we'll talk about that. Bottling and labeling for homebrewers. Big shout out to Clawhammer Supply for hitting 100,000 subscribers. That's no joke for Homebrew channel. Apartment Steve, he's got a great video on pretty much how to maximize space in an apartment. I think a lot of people don't get into homebrewing because they're afraid they just don't have the room for it. Apartment Steve's got a great video on what to buy. He's talking about shelves. He's talking about heat sources, ultimately things that don't take up too much space. Hence the name of his channel, The Apartment Brewer. Give that a go. What to do with a bad batch of beer. I just had to do this, and this is a bummer. There are ways to salvage it, and we'll talk about that. Finding inspiration to brew. There's a new BrewTube channel. I think his channel is just his name, and his name is Nikita Vorontsov. Nikita Vorontsov. He's got to be out there in Europe. He's got a great channel. He's new to BrewTube, so we're gonna have to jump him in and then give him a members only jacket. What's up, Hack Attack? What's up, Rubio? Chris Rowdy, what's up, man? Como estás? Austin, East Coast, drinking my first homebrew. Juicy IPA that's totally sessionable. Right on, man. Thanks for all your great videos. Really happy how the first brew turned out. Cheers, Austin. Keep it going. Keep watching videos, keep brewing, and become a master in the homebrewing craft.
Come here!
Yeah, Apartment Brewer. Nikita Vorontsov. And he's got a really good channel, and it looks like he's got really good beer. So maybe if anybody reaches out to him, maybe we could get him on. Even though he's a European guy, I don't think it really works with live streams and stuff like that. Maybe he's an insomniac. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Brandon Chamberlain. First time hearing the live show. Stoked, man. Cheers from San Diego. Clayton Gerard, what's up, man? He's my Facebook chat buddy. Apartment Brewer, Zach Pearson. What's going on, Zach? All right, let's rock and roll. Big shout out to last week's super chatters who helped produce the channel. Thank you so much. Pony Pasture ×2. Thank you. Wayward Brewing, Apartment Brewer, Hellbrews, Gnome Brewing. I think he's in here right now. I'm going to pull him in through Discord here in a second. CaptTJ, Mardueno Homebrew. I've got you guys in the description of this video. If you guys want me to put links to anything, I will do that for you. Kim Hill, KR Hill 94, Party Time Brewing, and Floridave. Thank you so much for helping out with my surgery, my penis reduction. So we're going to get Gnome in here right now. Quick little background. He's got a YouTube channel. I've got the link in his bio right now. As of 10 minutes ago, he has 182 subscribers. I like getting the newer channels in here because they need the most support, because I've been there and they flare out the hardest. We're talking about it earlier. What's the biggest inspiration for everybody to keep brewing? For me, it's BrewTubers. I could read magazines all day. I read magazines, but it doesn't inspire me as much as watching other people make YouTube videos, BrewTube videos, grain to glass videos, hack videos, review videos. So let's bring him in here. Gnome Brewing. All right, gonna grab a quick growler. Get that quick growler. So that's it. A lot of good BrewTube videos this week. Brian from Short Circuited is on a sick one. I think he puts out a video a day. Something tells me he got fired. Something tells me Brian Short Circuited is unemployed like myself. Hunger Force Beats, what's up, you brunch? And let's get him in here. Josh, sh_brew. Good evening. Shout out to everybody, but more particularly people that are not in the West Coast time zone. PST, Pacific Standard Time. I know there's Rhode Island in the house. I know Apartment Steve's in the house. I know that I always love, there he is right there. Short Circuited. Not only is he unemployed, but he's putting out YouTube videos every single day, and he's supporting other BrewTubers channels. Big shout out to Brian from Short Circuited. You know what? While we're here, and I'm going to pull Steven, big shout out to Brian from Canada in the house. Rock and roll. Shout out to Brian. He came on last week. And then I think one of my buddies came on last week. So big shout out to anybody who gives me their time. Again, especially the people that are not on the West Coast, because I know it's sometimes 10 or 11 o'clock, midnight when we're done with this stuff. So
back off, War Child, seriously.
Brandon Chamberlain, thank you for the super chat. Short Circuited Brewer, Papow, what up, man? Short Circuited in the house. Check out his channel. We've got his, Brian, we've got your refractometer video written down. For those, I'm going to get Gnome in here right now. He's one of the East Coasters. It's like 10 o'clock his time. But Brian had a good channel, he had a good video on his channel talking about the cheap refractometers and how they're not calibrated to the way hydrometers are. And there's kind of a little give that you've got to kind of find the median for. I'm not going to blow it or spoil it any more than that, but check out Short Circuited Brewers. He's an OG. If you guys seen my videos, you've probably seen his, because he's been around the old campfire a little bit longer. Yeah, the alter ego, the guy that swallows his dipper spit. That's me. That is me. I am doing chewing tobacco these days because I'm trying to quit smoking cigarettes. And it's going pretty good. I've had one cigarette in like 10 days. Yeast and the Beast. I'm about to get bumped. Short Circuited Brewers. I need to test something. Put a fake email in the chat. I need to see how it shows up.
Back off,
Brian, I'll let you in here right now. I'm going to let Gnome in, and I wish I could let everybody in here. Okay, Brian, you are a moderator. Okay, it's already got the thing lit up for you. Brian Lampron. The water one Brian did was good. Yeah, I watched that this morning. I watched that one this morning. And Anthony Silva. What's up, CH? NBC Brosh. We'll get there. Not every minute could be special, but we'll get there.
Back off, War Child, seriously.
All right. Without further ado, let's get Gnome Brewing in here. He sent me beers. He's got a great... Here, let me showcase it really fast. I think it's smoked beers. I don't really remember too much, but he did a great job packaging, labeling. He's got a really killer logo. Check it out. Gnome Brewing Co. Right there. He's a rad dude. He's out there in Rhode Island. We don't talk about people's real names on here. Everyone's Kaiser Soze that works at Roger Brewery. And I've got some stickers too. I highly recommend, if anybody wants to do a beer trade, this guy is legit. You guys see that? Gnome Brewing Co. There is a Gnome Brew Co. There's a Gnome Brewing in Chicago, so maybe you have to change up a spelling or something like that. But I'm excited. Let's pull him in. And 5.9 Saison, no smoked malts. All right, let's rock and roll. Let's get Gnome in here. So I'm gonna go to start video call, and then we're gonna go to window capture. Gnome, you here?
Yep.
What's going on, man? Oh shit, I just had it. Let me play you back in here.
If I'm too loud, let me know. I can.
No, it
adjust
sounds good, and they'll let us know who's too loud as well. All right, Brush, looking good, man. Thank you for the beer, dude. It got here in one piece, and you sent glass, so that's kind of ballsy, man. How's it going?
Very well. How about yourself?
Good. Can everybody hear Gnome? I'll let you say what up to the chat. I know that you know some of the guys in here. Gnome's pretty active, and yeah, party time. He's got a channel. What's up, Goose Fraba? Out in there in Texas. Sick Beard Gnome, Jules Game Art.
Thanks, Jules.
Short Circuited Brewers is sending us some spam. I don't know what 5x5 means, man, but it's some voodoo shit.
Probably the size of my closet behind me.
Oh, how's the weather out there, man? I know it's kind of crazy on the East Coast and down in the
it's
Gulf right
80
now.
degrees in my room right now.
80 degrees?
Yeah, in my room. I just have a ceiling fan.
Damn. Same with me, but it's not 10 o'clock here. What time is it? 9 o'clock?
9, yeah.
9 o'clock, man. Well, cheers, dude. I'm going to crack one of your beers here in a second. I've got some things I want to ask you. I don't know if you were listening when I was going over the stuff that I had written down this week. Straight out of the gate, though, for the people that don't know anything about you, man, tell us where you're from and how long you've been brewing and what system you have.
Okay, yep. Well, I'm from Rhode Island. I've been brewing for about 4 years.
Seriously.
Not exactly sure how long. I tried looking through my beersmith recipes to see like what my first recipe was, and it was sometime during 2017. So I would assume 4 years.
We've been in the game together.
Yeah, and for my system, I use a Brewha. It's technically a biac, like a brew in a conical. But basically, it's just a brew in a bag setup, but with a really nice system. Like it is a conical. It has multiple ports.
I'm gonna put your system in the Instagram. I'm gonna put your Instagram pictures in the chat right now because you have a very gnarly setup, more so than I do.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It does have some negatives, but they're not that bad.
They always do.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, check it out. All
Show
right,
my beer real quick.
you're
it pops up.
You're rocking the Homebrew for Life t-shirt in this one.
There we go.
That's a hell of a system. Okay, I'm going to pull this one in right here. Let's go over to here. All right, so this is Gnome's setup. I'm going to put some pictures in here. And Gnome, if you want to... What happened?
A little bit of a... Never mind. I got it. It's good.
Porch bomb? Too much head?
Nah,
That's what she said.
I just bought some beer from a brewing company that's like maybe a half mile down the road earlier today, and it just like kind of fucking went all over me, but it's all good.
You'll live to tell about it. Daniel De Maria loves your beard. Great beard. You should grow some mead with a beard like that. Have you ever done mead, Dom?
I have not. I do like mead, but yeah, I haven't really. I pretty much spend too much time with beer to like kind of venture off and doing wine and mead, but
mead's cool, but it takes time unless you want to drink it sweet. I've done...
so really quickly, 2 days ago, I finally filmed the tasting for that beer that you're about to try.
Dude, this looks great.
Yeah, I think it does. Well, I'm just worried about like the carbonation because the last bottling I did, I was a little bit He-Man-ish and broke a bottle, so I kind of did them a little gingerly this time. So I hope really good. Just Plus, I'm sure it was on a hot truck and plane, or who the fuck knows what else. But
that you can't control. But this is delicious. I'm not the biggest saison fan, and I can do it in small doses. And this is a really good beer, man. So thank you. Cheers, Brush.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Like Belgians, so.
No,
I knew it was a little bit of a risk.
No, when I first started brewing, I think most of my beers were they were brown ales and ambers and stuff like that. And then I caught wind about farmhouse ales because you could brew them at higher temperatures, and I would just do like 5-gallon batches of banana, bubblegum, estery, Belgians, and I just kind of burned myself out on that.
Wow. Fair enough. That makes sense.
All right, so we got Gnome here. Sup from PA. What's up, Trans Am guy? Thank you guys who just watched that quick little happy hour video. It's gonna be really obnoxious. There's just so many quick things that I could rip apart. put up there talking about what is whirlpooling. I'm going to talk to Gnome about bottling and labeling because he's got really good bottles and labels. I feel like I need to send those back to you.
Nah, that's fine. You
No.
can just throw them away.
No, I'll put
or use them yourself.
Dead rose in it. I'll put a flower in it. And,
there you go.
Something will happen. But there's just so many snippets I could rip apart, pretty much like what every podcaster does. And, you know, me and Gnome have probably talked about 8 different things tonight, as well as talk with the chat, engage with you guys. But shout out to anybody who just watched that Japanese versus Mexican lager video. And cheers to that. And it's going to get obnoxious on the Hoppy Hour. It's going to get really obnoxious. I'm talking like daily uploads. So be prepared. And shout out to Gnome and everybody that's here right now, man. This is the favorite night of my week. Scott S. Traditional mead, mesquite in the house. What's going on, Scott? I think that's Scott Shrewsbury. Live brew. Jorge Castro, what's up, man? He's down there. You guys are in the same time zone, right? You guys are 3 hours ahead.
I think he might be 1 hour to the east of me. I'm not really sure about Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. Andy B, what's going on, man? Gnome. That's Jorge Castro. Brown ales are awesome. They do not get enough love, and I've been thinking about that. Is there a good program for labels? I want to talk about that first because I'm very impressed with how you sent this to me. How did you do this? How did you make labels in this perfect sticker like this?
Well, I have some, I don't know where they are, but I think I go through Avery.com.
It's a website.
So, yeah. A dude did that for me from like Finland or something like that.
Okay.
Which kind of worked out because apparently like gnomes are part of their culture. So like I didn't have to really tell him much.
That's why we're
He
here.
pretty much nailed it the first time. But yeah, I just tried to take my time and apply it without like any bubbles because I care about what it looks like. But
So everything's
in terms of
obviously
the
done hand by
packaging,
hand.
I don't know if you noticed, but I actually put them in like a used like yeast bag that you would get from like morebeer.com.
Who's talking shit? When I got that, I opened it up and I was like, is this something like you'd put, by the way, you packaged that phenomenally, but I opened it up, I was like, is this something you'd put in like, if you go to the beach and you don't want the sun to beat on your car, you put up like that thing in your front window. I was like, what the hell is this? I was like, damn, this is the gnarliest package I've ever seen.
That's pretty much like a Mylar bubble wrap.
Okay.
Package. Literally, like you get them from More Beer when you buy yeast. It's exactly that. And I even reused the fucking ice pack.
Duly noted. So how do the labels work at Avery? How much do you have to buy and how much do you have to buy to get a discount?
Pretty much every additional sheet you buy lowers the price. I think I bought maybe like not many, like 72 for like maybe $20. I don't know.
72 stickers for $22. That gives you like 2 colors. You've got turquoise and black.
No, just one.
So black is the canvas and green is the one color.
Exactly. Yeah. The background.
72 for $20. That's still not bad. I mean, that's if you're already invested in all this to, send people beer for Christmas gifts and birthday gifts and wedding gifts, it's just another $20.
Yeah.
So Avery.com, man.
I believe so. If you give me a second, I'll probably try to find them. I don't even know where the fuck they are.
Lawn gnomes are a sign for swingers, by the way. We know that, Beast. We've established that, Yeast in the Barrage. Cheers to Yeast and the Beast out there in Texas. A few Texas people now. Avery.com. Check it out to get your beer labels. Will they just do stickers or non-beer stuff, or is it the stuff that like sticks to glass and doesn't come off when it gets cold and wet?
Pretty much anything. Different sizes, different textures, different materials. I pretty much buy the cheapest stuff you can. Like I'm not about to buy like some fancy glossy paper or anything like that. That's like literally the low tier stuff.
What about your stickers?
Yeah.
Avery.com?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope that they see this because you're probably going to throw them some business. So hopefully they get you on the referral system and give you some kickback. But probably not. It's probably not going to happen.
Yeah,
so
definitely not.
I use Sticker Mule. I've heard of Sticker Mule. Jules Games Art. I use Sticker Mule when they have a sale going on, though. Jules, if you could beat that, what was it? 72 stickers for $20. Let me know, man, because I would be stoked. I saw Brian's video short circuited, and he's got to do a room tour because he's got like October Crowler machines back there. I think he's got a couple of those. I might sell my soul and try to see if they'll give me one, and then I could, make crowler beer and send it to people. So I don't have to worry about glass breaking or something like that. But I love it. I love the idea of it, and I need to start making Homebrew for Life stuff. I need to start making Homebrew for Life stickers. I don't have a pint glass yet. All I have is t-shirts, and that's it. No hats, no nothing. But I'll get it going, and thanks for inspiring me, Noam.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
Patrick D, the beard game is strong tonight. I know, man. Everyone comes up to me every time I go to see my aunts and uncles. They're like, "How do you grow a beard, man?" I'm like, "It's super easy. You just have to not be able to afford a Mach 3 razor. It's the easiest thing in the world. Just don't have money and go through puberty." Wow.
I think the hardest part is like the 6 months
when
point
it's
like
itching.
itchy as fuck. Yeah, as soon as you get past that, you're good.
It's like that with hair too. When people try to grow dreadlocks and shit, you know, like I could
wouldn't know that.
I would. Yeah, I don't think you would. I don't think you're ever gonna know that. I don't think it's happening.
Nah.
Who knows Photoshop? Somebody get some dreadlocks on Gnome.
Back off or child.
But
walk around with a... No, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but Gnome does have a YouTube channel. He's been putting out. He went on a sick one a few months ago. I know you haven't put a video out in a while, but I know it takes a lot of work, and in the back of your mind, you're probably brainstorming some ideas. I've got his link in the description. If anybody could subscribe to Gnome's channel, subscribers and likes and thumbs up fuel people, motivate people to put out more and more content. He's a great brewer. He's got a really good Instagram picture of a sour on his last post. I'll pull that up here in a second. But
I have a growler of that today.
Oh, you do?
I'll pour that in a minute.
What was the ABV on that?
7.2 before
Nice.
fruit. Now it's like kind of hard to tell. It may have diluted it a little bit because it was a little bit stronger, which I did that intentionally.
Yeah.
Knowing that I was going to add fruit to it, but I'm not exactly sure the ABV. I don't have one of those fancy Anton Pars or whatever.
Yeah.
I wish I did.
Shout out to Noel Suffering and Short Circuited Brewers. Wow. Just subscribe to Gnome's channel. Again, for those who are just here, we just got 50 people watching. Thank you so much. We hit 99, I think, with Brian last week, and I think we hit 99 the week before with Clawhammer. Thank you. This is rad, and we love seeing the old faces in here. What's up, Jonathan Elliott, as well as the new faces in here. Dan Diego, what's up, you brunch? Brian Lapron, apartment brewer needs to get a no-shaved chit. I have no idea what that means. Al Bro, he is a bro. He's actually one of Short Circuited's Patreon. Because my dad just sent me
Rubio.
My dad just sent me a selfie. I don't know why.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, my dad's my best friend, but I thought it was going to be like, hey, I'm watching you guys on TV or something. But no, he's probably just drunk playing golf.
Back off.
Albaraj. Sour malt lowers mass pH, right? Sour malt? Acid malt?
Acidulated malt. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's for. Dude, I'm back on the flip phone. It is checking in from Big Bear. Oh, they are listening to the podcast. Shout out to Pops.
That a week or two ago with the flip phone.
Yeah,
that's a pro mode.
I'm back, man. I've never slept better. I'm reading The Godfather. I'm reading Frankenstein. I don't watch porn anymore. That's kind of bullshit, but I don't watch as much porn. I wake up better. I don't know, man. If I could recommend it to anybody, some people cannot do it for their jobs.
Right, exactly.
Some people have to have it for clocking in or Slack or when I work. There's a bunch of apps. But if you can go back to flip phone, you will feel better. There's just something about, I don't know, too much internet just makes me weird. It just...
Probably save money too, no? I would think so.
Child, seriously.
Yeah, there's a lot of websites, not Groupon or so much anymore, but like the Amazons where they already have your information. That's kind of the big part of like how their business model works. It's like as soon as you want something, you buy it off impulse. You don't even have time to think like, oh, where's my credit card? Where's my checkbook? Do I even look at my bank account to see if I can afford this? And you're just buying shit subconsciously. So yeah, absolutely in that regard.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Do I read novels? No. T9's a bitch. It takes me like 40 minutes to write somebody back. You guys remember T9? T9 IPO?
No.
YouTube is behind. YouTube's got like a 20-second delay. I'm gonna turn this into kind of just like a questionnaire because I know you're a home brewer. I know that we kind of have the dreams of one day opening up a small commercial brewery. I think you're probably harder on yourself. He's been on before. I think, I don't know. Have you ever thrown a batch of beer out?
Oh yeah, certainly. Probably like 3 total
2 for me.
out of maybe like 40. I haven't really brewed that many times, unfortunately. Actually,
What happened with the beers you threw out?
I just dumped them right down the drain.
No,
Or,
I,
like, what
I
went
understand what went bad. I understand how to throw them out. You just pour it upside down.
Well, this is going back a few years. Usually, I would be out of town, and an IPA would sit on hops too long. That was almost always the case.
And fermentation or in your keg?
No, in the conical. Like, I would be away for like an entire week. I was traveling back and forth to New Hampshire like every weekend. It's a long story, but so yeah, I would like neglect some beers from time to time and pay the price for it. But that doesn't happen to me anymore, thank God.
Yeah, I am doing a Homebrew for Life video right now, and if anybody who's in here right now, I wasn't going to say it till the video came out, but I blew it on my last batch of beer, and I think I'm just getting too cocky. I'm not cocky, but lazy. I'm not hanging out on Beersmith or Brewfather too much, and I'm just kind of like, here's 10 of this, and I'll mix this and that, and I'll just add any extract, and it'll just play out in my head, and I read an article online, so it'll work for me, and I used Yeast 1028, their London ale yeast, and I was having a hard time with stuck fermentation, and I put it out in the sun. It's in stainless steel, so I'm not worried about the sun getting through, but it's not like a Kveik yeast. It's not a yeast that is proven to withstand the test of time at high temperatures, and I forgot about it. I was cleaning my house all day, and it was going ape shit for about 4 hours. And when I brought it back in, I knew that the yeast was just overstressed. And I'm going to give it another week. It's on nitro. It's taking forever. But I'm probably going to throw this batch of beer out. And this is a bummer because this was like
on nitro too. Ugh.
It's on nitro too. Nitro takes forever to fucking carbonate. It was a system. We didn't pay for it. Northern Brewer gave it to us for a video. This is a video that Northern Brewer wants to see. And in the video, I thought about scrapping the video.
Sucks.
It does suck. But
Yeah.
I talked to Trevor, and I was like, let's just make the video, and let's talk about the mistakes that I made. I added shitty extract, and I let it sit out at too high of temperature, and it's nobody's fault but mine. And, you know, everyone's YouTube videos or brewing videos, not everybody, but everyone's like, even us in the beginning are like, my beer's so good. This is such a good beer. A lot of times it's probably not, and this is a beer that we're going to make a video of that we're actually going to throw out. So spoiler alert, but it is the maple bacon, and I learned a lot about extract from this video because not all extract is the same. A lot of extract is, I don't know, more potent, more tastes like shit. But even from the get-go, when I cracked the syrup, it was like Walden Farms maple bacon syrup extract. I think it was Walden Farms. As soon as I smelt it, if it smells like this, it's probably somewhat going to taste like this. And it just smelled smoky. It just smelled roasty. I didn't smell any maple. I didn't smell any bacon. And if I were to do this video over again, I would have just put in maple syrup, and I would have grilled up a pound of bacon and put it in the corny cake.
Hell yeah, why not?
And I still might. But spoiler alert, this next Homebrew for Life video, we're going for blood on it. We've got a lot of antics of us squirting shit into each other's mouth from far and then jamming it with bacon and pouring beers over our face. But at the end of the day, we dump the beer out, and we're all crying in my yard. And it's all like the scene from Lord of the Rings when Gandalf dies in slow motion, you know. But it's just beer.
Back off.
Yeah, it's
or
not
child
mustard at
stays.
least.
No, I wish it was mustard, but hopefully Northern Brewer is cool and they understand that, you know, shit happens, and this happens in brewing. You know, I don't care if you've been brewing for 10 years or 10 days. Like, sooner or later you're gonna have a bad batch. What the real problem is if you're honing in recipes and you're trying to do 25 batches of the same one and one comes out bad, that's a real problem. But if you're just like, hey, let's just put like pancake batter mixed together with bacon and marmalade and Bloody Mary mix and just pray for the best. R.I.P. Maple Bacon Beer. Shout out to the apartment brewer, man. Shout out to he feels my pain. The apartment brewer, rest in peace, Maple Bacon Beer. That might be
Just
the
so
name of the
anyone-
beer. Yeah.
In
Thank you,
case anyone's
Steve.
wondering why the fuck I brought up mustard, it was the corn dog video, I think.
Oh yeah, our food videos that nobody watches.
Yeah.
That I love to make the
But
most.
I think it was more him squirting mustard in your face. So it was fucking hilarious.
We were squirting mustard in each other's faces, and then Trevor missed. Trevor's the Australian guy, and then we're like, just hold it, keep it going. And Maury actually ate mustard off my face. We didn't tell him to do that. I would have not done that off anybody's face.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I'd rather waste mustard than beer. But shout out to Steve for that super chat, man. Much appreciated. And for the super chatters, I am going to start getting you guys in the videos like how Brian does with Patreon, because I know it's not through that YouTube super chat anymore. As Brian knows, or as any live streamer knows, YouTube takes all of it. They take all of it and then they charge you 20% on top. But I just do it through Streamlabs. This is what we're running it through. It goes through Streamlabs. I'm on Streamlabs right now. I pulled in Gnome through Discord, and then from Streamlabs, you click on Twitch or Mixer or YouTube or whatever, and they just take like the 3% PayPal or whatever. Really quick though, I want to give a shout out to Short Circuited. He posted something on Facebook today. He's going to have a live brew day. Did you catch his last one, Gnome?
Live brew day? No.
It's cool. Him and his wife are down there, and I know it's a workout. I don't know how well that basement's ventilated, but he's got like 4 cameras going, and
Yeah, I've seen that for sure.
you really got to know
His
what you're doing.
sorry. His lighting setup's amazing as well.
It is,
Especially in last week.
yeah, it's killer. So we have not yet to do one of those yet, but he's got a good Facebook group posted on. He's got a good group posted on Facebook, and same with David Heath. He's got a great Facebook group. So if you guys are still on Facebook, check it out.
Wow. Oh, I'm not.
Jack Martino, you're not on Facebook?
Nah, fuck that. I abandoned that shit like 3 years ago.
Yeah, how much longer you can be on Instagram? Because Instagram's like the next to go.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I literally just post
Beer. Stick with beer.
Yeah.
Stick with beer. That's all I can handle. As soon as anybody's like getting off the beer thing or whatever, I'm out. And I want to see beer on my phone, on my computer.
Yeah.
I don't care about too much other stuff. Jack Martino, good question. What is everybody drinking tonight? Starting with you, Noam. What was that, a Pilsner?
No, I just poured my Hefeweizen. I just brewed this like maybe a month and a half ago.
Nice. Are you stoked off it?
Everything except for the aroma. Not that it's bad. It's just the recipe was very similar to a previous Hefeweizen I did, and the aroma was like a step back. So not really sure why. The pitch rate was the same. The temperature, the fermentation temperature was the same. The only difference was the grain bill, which is very minor. I didn't use Munich this time, which was usually just for color anyways. So I don't know. It tastes good though. So that's all I really care about. I'll improve it next time.
This beer that you gave me is super clean, man. What'd you use for the grain bill on this?
80% Pilsner, 20% Spelt. Very simple.
Look at this. Looks like a Mexican lager, man.
Yeah, it kind of has like a lagery type taste somewhat. Like it is very clean.
Seriously.
What'd you use for the yeast?
Saison Parfait.
What was it?
Which Saison Parfait? It's a blend of yeast actually. It's
I don't know.
3 different strains. They don't list which ones. I don't believe. I would assume one of them is DuPont, but I'm not really sure.
Who? What's the brand?
Get over here!
Bootleg Biology.
Couldn't tell you, man. I don't know. I'm not in the Belgian yeast strain game as well as some other people are.
I love it. Like that was the first beer that okay, so I brewed the first version of that beer. Then I want to say I made like a New England IPA, and I went right back to that beer because I liked it so much and I wanted to improve upon it. So that's never happened before. So I mean, that's saying something really. All
right, we talked about this last time. This was a couple months ago. For the people that are here right now, we got 70 people watching. The dream is to open up a brewery. How many beers do you put on your list, and what styles are there? And does this Belgian make the cut?
Oh, well, not right now. Like I need to work on some things. I'm definitely not ready. I'll be honest.
No, I know, but like hypothetically, what's a good beer? How many is a good beer menu?
For me personally, no more than 2 or 3 IPAs. Like I do.
But a total beer list, like 8 or 10 or 20.
Oh gosh, I'd be happy with 6. Really.
6 beers?
Yeah.
They're gonna stand out a lot more because that means you can only have like one style on.
Wow.
Yeah, For sure. I mean, obviously we don't like going like when a place opens up and they only have like, 2 beers to choose from, that sucks. But also when a brewery has like you're
Oh, yeah, it's okay.
overwhelmed by the list, that also sucks.
Yeah.
So
when
I
you're
would
just standing there for
yeah, I don't know what the fuck I want.
Yeah. And it's funny you said that because I went out to dinner with my dad the other night, me and some friends and my dad and his girlfriend, and we just went to Islands Burgers, and they take our order. It doesn't matter if it's food or drinks, and whenever somebody asks me what I want, whether I'm at a cocktail bar or a Islands or a brewery, I just say, "What do you guys sell the most of? What do you guys sell the most of?" And a good server will know that, and I go with that. And after we closed out at Islands, we went over to, Yard House. Have you ever heard?
I don't know.
Yard House,
Definitely not.
it's a commercial place where it's kind of gimmicky where they give you beers that are 3 feet long. But if you look at their menu, there's like 1,000 things. Like it's size like 8 font. You're just like, I can't, this is just way too much beer, way too much food. And that's why I say those types of things. Because it's like some restaurants you go to, and like BJ's, and there's 1,000 things on the menu. And when you're like, hey, what do you guys sell the most of? What's good? And the waiter's like, everything's good. It's like, no. I don't care about I don't give a shit about your tangerine fucking Cobb salad. Like, what is the number one seller? I want the meat and potatoes. I don't care about some French onion dip, spring roll soup. Like, I want, what do you sell the most of? What IPA do you sell the most of? Or a lot of times if you go to a brewery, if you're talking to the owner or the brewer, sometimes if they're behind the bar, you're like, hey, what is the most freshest? And that kind of goes back to you throwing your beer out earlier. You were talking about just sitting on hops too long. It's like, well, there's a ripeness to beer because, beer is food. Hops are fruit, weed, something.
I guess
weed?
We call it a weed. It's
I don't know.
Cousin of cannabis. It's basically flower, I guess. It does bloom and bud.
Yeah. We got a super chat. Warren Gavin. Shout out to Warren Gavin, man. Thanks for killing all my free time. That's what we're here for, bro. Big shout out to Warren Gavin. And I don't know. I think that the perfect beer menu, you're on the low of it. You're talking about 6. That's a very competitive beer menu. I know some homebrewers that have 6 on, but if I had a brewery, I think I'd have 10 on. I think my golden rule would be 10. 10 you can look at. 10 you could have you could have low, you could have the lagers, you could have maybe some gozas, some sours, maybe all the way up to about like a 7.5% beer. There's a lot of variety in that. But I think any more than, 12's okay, but once you start hitting like 15 or 20, I think it screws up the flow of the room. There's just too much like, can I try that? Is that good? It's like, hey, we gotta get people in and out. It's kind of like the old in and out psychology menu. It's like they've never tried to add apple cakes or try to do breakfast and try to do all the stuff. It's like, we're just gonna do 4 things and we're gonna do it better than anybody. And that's it.
I give you my answer based on like actual potential. Like I can afford right now like a 3.5 barrel system, but I have zero money for like a building.
No, this is all hypothetical. This is all hypothetical.
Right.
All right.
I like to try to approach it in like a realistic way. So 6 would be for me like,
Oh, I don't. I'm a dreamer.
I gotcha. But also like, I don't know. I just want like a small community spot where like, it's
3-barrel system.
Yeah, something small.
I'm with you, man.
You're cycling in new beers all the time, keeping it fresh.
Right.
Obviously have some like, repeat beers, but because that's a big thing for me. I always try to improve upon beers. Like as much as I want to, let's go to the next style. I don't really have much time, so I can't really just move on. And then like, I'll get to improving that beer down the line. Next thing you know, it's like a year passes before I do that. So I'm trying to like get better in the shortest amount of time, like as much as I can.
As realistically as you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Understood. I want to quick.
Obviously, brewing different styles does help that, but I want to, like I said, I want to take something that's actually pretty decent and improve upon it.
If anybody wants to get inspired by for me having smoker's cough. If anybody wants to get inspired, check out Gorgeous George on Instagram. He's got a phenomenal homebrew setup. There's some guys on Instagram that have like, I don't even know, man. The Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos of setups.
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah, out of control
do you follow
stuff.
homebrewing experience on Instagram?
I do.
Like,
yeah, I follow.
Man.
Yeah, but it's mostly shout outs, right? He just gives people shout outs. That's not all his shit, right?
With like, no, it's all tons of people with pimp setups that like he takes their picture and like, hey, look at this, and I'm just like, God damn, I wish.
I'm gonna send him a
sure people
selfie.
think out of my setup too, but
I'm gonna send him a shirts off hallway selfie and see if I get a repost. See what happens. But big shout out to Gorgeous George, man. I've got some of his stuff up. I'm collecting. You know what I love collecting more than stickers is coasters. And I've got a coaster from Gorgeous George out there. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna move around really fast. But hold it down. Can you hold the chat down? I want to show some people some love. Hold it down, Gnome.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll try my best. I'm gonna burp.
Don't go Garth Algar on me, man.
Damn. Don't go. What did you say? Here. Oh, 1 second, guys. I have to like reset my USB. This computer's from 2009. It's a piece of shit. Thanks, Gorgeous George. I appreciate it. I'll sub to you as soon as I can. Let me try to do that real quick right now while I have nothing else to do. Oh, I can't hear shit. Well, at least, I don't know. I gotta wait till...
All right, I'm back. What's going on?
Oh, okay. Can you hear me, I hope?
Can I hear you? Loud and clear. Okay. Loud and proud.
Well, I was having trouble earlier. I was just telling chat. Like, my PC is an ancient relic from 2009. So every once in a while, I have to, like, take my fucking... my audio, I have like an interface for music, so I have to like always unplug it and then plug it back in because sometimes just like no sound comes out of nowhere. So
no, it sounds good.
I'm sorry for
sounds
throwing
perfect.
a wrench in this whole fucking thing.
I'm gonna give a shout out to George. Sorry, what?
Sorry, but nope, my bad.
No, no one's bad. We're keeping up with the chat and we're having a conversation / podcast. There's gonna be a lot of talking over each other, especially when it's me. And real quick, I'm gonna give
feel bad.
Nah, you shouldn't feel bad at all. Don't feel. That's the last thing you should do. I'm gonna give a quick shout out. Gnome, I subbed. Gorgeous George just subscribed. He just scrubbed to Gnome. How many subscribers do we have now? Did we break the 200 threshold? But I want to give a quick shout out. He's one of the OGs, and I love coasters because the thing about coasters is they've got way more longevity than I thought before I collected them because I don't know. I thought they only had a couple of uses in them, but they're like the new Pog or Slammer or something, man.
Oh, I loved fucking Slammers and
Slammers and Pogs, man. Let's play right now. I'll take I've got Booze Bros, I've got Blue Fire, I've got Trevor's. He's got Wayward Brewing. Keep that on the radar. Trev comes on a lot. He's probably in more homebrew. Trev who? He's probably in more Homebrew for Life videos than Maury at this age. Maury's getting married. Maury's he's a busy guy. I try to get him when I can get him, but life happens, you know. Family, dogs, marriage, weddings, parties, hangovers, jobs, all that fun stuff.
Wow. That's a hard one to answer, Warren.
What do we got?
I would say it's actually probably can connect to Short Circuit's latest video, although I haven't watched it yet. I've been kind of out of the loop lately, but the way that you can't trust a refractometer post-fermentation. I literally did not know that for like at least my first 10 beers, and I thought all my beers were under-attenuated. So that was like a holy shit moment. That's like the first one that comes to my head.
I'm going in, dude. I just saw this in the fridge and I grabbed it. I don't know where it came from. I didn't buy it.
What is it? Oh, Truly.
Mango Truly. Which we can't really be harping on Truly because all my friends' breweries are trying to make hard seltzers and they're all trying to like aim for Truly and White Claw and they're not as good, but hopefully they're not listening right now.
So real quick, I did finish uploading that's Pilsner. You said Pilsner, so you got me thinking that. The Saison before I came on here, but I didn't release it yet. I'll make it public after I get off here. But so I am like trying to start getting it. I actually have two
Back
more
off, War Child,
videos I need to
seriously.
release, but the reason why I've been like not doing much
YouTube.
is, yeah, the reason why I haven't been doing much though is like my brew room has been really difficult to like brew in. Like the hottest it's been is like 106 in the brew room before I like fire up the kettle.
That's
So
too hot, man.
it's insane. And like so I have no choice but to be pretty much like half naked. And I don't want to be that guy that's posting videos like half naked. You know what I mean?
I think there's a theme behind that called like the shirtless brewer, the Speedo brewer or something.
Yeah, that's not gonna be me though.
106 in Rhode Island? I didn't think that was possible.
Well, here's the thing. All right, so my dad built this huge garage.
I thought it was cold out there.
Yeah,
Wow.
but we have brutal, humid like summers. So he built a massive garage, and then he built I'll be honest, it was a grow room that was connected to the garage. It used to have ventilation, but now it doesn't. So like literally the only airflow is whenever I turn my hood on, which is minimal at best. So like,
What do you mean
it's
your hood?
fucking so because all right, so I used to brew in a basement, and with my system, it creates a lot of steam. So you need a hood to take that steam and remove it from the room, or you won't be able to see, like literally. So I had like when I was setting up the room, that was like one of my biggest musts, and so I try to only turn it on when I'm making videos during like the boil,
Yeah.
because otherwise you can't hear a fucking thing I say. Like
Yeah.
I learned that early on as well. But I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
I
producing
brewed-
videos is kind of hard during the summer here, unfortunately.
We did it last time. We did it last summer in September, and we all had to go through like 3 t-shirts a day, and it just sucked, man. Really quick though, we got a super chat from Chris Ratty, man. Shout out to Chris Ratty, $10.69. This super chat blows. Yes, it does. It definitely blows, man. It blows the hardest. But thank you for the love, man. That's going towards my surgery. Much love, Brush. And I'm kidding by surgery. I don't want anyone to think that we're actually raising money for anything. That's the joke. It's I said that like last Wednesday. It's going to be a penis reduction. It's not a surgery. It's just going more towards breakfast burritos, $80 bar tabs, and homebrew for life videos, and miniature beer chugs. So thank you, Chris. Much love, Brush. No, we tried to brew last September. September is the hottest month in San Diego, and it was just disgusting. It's just being around a flame, being around a camera, being around tripods, being around drunk people. It is a serious workout, and I don't have air conditioning. It's not like I can do electric in my house. It's like we just have to deal with the heat, and it sucks. So I understand. The only key to beating the heat is just starting at 7 a.m. If you can do it early. That's all. That's my best advice on that.
Back off, War Child,
Yeah, I
seriously.
try to. My schedule kind of sucks. Every time I'm like, oh, I'm gonna start like before noon, and then it never happens.
You have
Noon
to.
comes.
For a brew day, film day, you have to start before
Yeah,
noon.
I need to like stick to it. It's really hard for me though. But
Yeah.
because
September is amazing on the East Coast. Don't tell Gnome that. I don't think that works in Rhode Island. I think Rhode Island's got a little bit.
no. See, here's the thing. It definitely is, but like you have to keep in mind,
Back off, War
I'm
Child, seriously.
essentially in a building inside a building,
Right.
with no airflow. So like, it's rough. Like, yeah, a fan ain't gonna do shit. Like, absolutely nothing.
I mean,
In the wintertime, I have to use like a propane like cannon type heater just to get it to like where I can like stop shivering. So it's in the summer it's brutal, and the winter is brutal. Like the only like now's the time to brew for me, really. Like in the fall and the spring.
I thought Canada was like freezing. Aren't you guys pretty close to Canada? Or am I just being a SoCal shithead?
Like 5 hours away.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Okay, a lot can change in that. Like, what's the coldest place in America? Probably like upstate New York?
Alaska, I would think.
Or aside, like the continental U.S.? I think Alaska.
Buffalo.
Yeah, like Albany or Buffalo or Jamestown or something.
Oh yeah, probably they're actually probably right. Like somewhere
Fargo.
like Wyoming or Montana or some shit is probably brutal as fuck too.
Fargo. Jeff Marrow, super chat. Thank you, Braj. Hope you survive the surgery, Braj. I will survive. Speaking of survive, I've got my football leagues. You do Survivor football? Anybody do Survivor in here?
Nope.
You don't do any pro football or Yahoo football or anything?
In terms of like betting or like,
Yeah, just like
nah.
Yahoo and all these. They have a really weird loophole on gambling because they don't actually collect money, but they all know that there's money going through all of these leagues and stuff like that. And I'm doing Survivor this year, and I've ran a league for about 10 years, and I'm taking the Panthers this week. Pick one team to win each week, no spread, and if they win, you move on, but you can't take that team again. So I'm taking the Panthers this week. Nothing brewing related at all to that. Just thought maybe there's some people in here doing Survivor or something. Noel Suffering. Central PA is not too bad. Pool water for the chill in the summer and snow for the chill in the winter. I've always wanted to do that. I've done it once, and it was in Alpine. We knocked out in a jacuzzi on the first step, but it was a jacuzzi that was probably close to freezing, and we made beer. It was rad. It was super rad. Big Survivor fan. Patrick D. He's taking Atlanta. Hack Attack, tough week for Survivor. Shouldn't be tough. I mean, it's week 1. Everyone's got the good teams. I'd be surprised.
I literally thought you meant the fucking NBC show when you said Survivor. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
No,
now.
Survivor football. Do you know about the NFL? Do you know there's a professional football league called the NFL?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I'm actually looking forward to the Patriots season this year because they got that Mac Jones.
Yeah, they cut their
Anything better than
quarterback.
Cam Newton. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was a fucking shit show.
He sucked on the Patriots?
Oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely.
How
Couldn't throw
many-
for shit, and he used to be a running quarterback. And when he tried to run, you would get like 2 yards if he was lucky.
What was their record last year? I know the
God,
Bills
it was
dominated that division.
I want to say it was their first losing record in quite a while, if I'm not mistaken. But it wasn't good.
No.
That's for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna see.
When you go from Tom Brady to Cam Newton.
Yeah, that's a serious reality. But here's how it works. So you take one team to win each week, and if they win, you move on. If you lose, you're out. But I do a double elimination league because it's $100, winner takes all. Any team, but if you take that team, you burn up. So I think there's probably a couple people that are going to take the Buccaneers tomorrow night because they're playing the Cowboys. Actually, I don't know. That's a sketchy game to pick. Go Bills is right. Bills are my new favorite team because San Diego left me. They broke my hearts. I love the Bills. I love their quarterback. But I'm going to save the Bills. So there's kind of some strategy. It's like, hey, I don't want to burn like the Packers and the Chiefs week 1. I'm going to need them down the stretch. And usually Survivor goes to about week 10 or 11, and then there's the winner. And it's winner takes all. So it's a big pot. And
so other people can pick the team that you previously picked, but you can't, right?
What's up?
So other people can pick the team that you picked previously, but you can't? Like once you pick
No, we can all pick the same teams. Jonathan Elliott,
Okay.
he's still here.
Okay.
Jonathan Elliott. He's got the he's grabbing the
I'm
bulls
like
by
the
the
worst
horn.
at gambling.
Being bad at gambling is a very good thing because gambling
Yeah.
is gnarly, man. And big shout out to Jonathan Elliott for that super chat, man. Get that brewery going. I'll come up there. We'll make a video. Maybe Gnome can meet me out there. They're up, that's his East
Move
Coast
to Florida, man.
East Coast to West Coast. Me move to Florida? They're up in Oregon.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you thinking Oregon now?
No,
Oh.
that's just where they're starting a brewery.
I heard you like a week or two ago talking about you were thinking about moving to Florida.
Yeah. It's Florida, Tennessee, and Asheville, North Carolina. That's kind of like, but I still got to go visit them. I haven't even gone out there yet. But all I do know is that I'll never be able to buy a house in San Diego. That's what I know.
All right.
Jonathan Elliott, I'm always here. Glad to see you get more of your money. Thanks, Jonathan. Much love, man. Thanks for helping produce the channel. Rob Barnes, just a joke about Washington football team. Are they still called the Washington football team? We don't need to
I
get.
believe they are, yeah.
Just call them anything except for that. Just call them anything except for that. Come to Washington, Barrage. Ryan Carter, I would love to come up to Washington. There's a lot of good homebrewers up there. That's where Delonius is from. That's where Spokane. That's a Genus. I got to
Genus, yeah.
I got to get Genius back on her.
Seriously.
Apartment Steve, have a
yeah.
good night, man. Thanks for the super chat. As always, we got to get it. We got to get a collab going, Steve. We got to figure something out. I see these guys collab, and I don't know how they do it, but if they can do it, that means it's humanly possible.
Have a good night, Steve.
Later, Steve. Have a good night, Barrage. Good job with that video too. Again, if anybody wants to talk about brewing on a closed, not you know, in
Closed
an
transfer, I believe.
What's that?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. My bad.
If
cut
anybody's trying to get into brewing and they're worried they might not have enough space, check out the Apartment Steve's whole channel, let alone his last video. Harvested 10 hops for my first year at Columbus. What's up, Jeff? How are you, Barrage?
Oh, 10 actual.
That's a lot of varieties. That's a lot.
Wow.
No, I think he means like. Well, I don't know. I'm trying to like break that down. What exactly he's talking about?
What would we call the Washington football team?
Wow.
The Washington Beards. The Beards. There's the Bears. There's the Brewers. Let's just call them the Beers.
We do need a Beards.
The Beards.
You're saying the beers?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, the beards. Like
Yeah.
facial hair, right? I mean, that's no one's
Right.
gonna get too offended. Maybe I don't know. Probably women. Would be pissed. Yeah, they'd
We
be
can't
pissed.
grow those.
Yeah. Yeah. Plan B.
Oh, they'll sell pink beards that the women can wear in the stands.
No,
There you go.
it would be,
and they make money.
It would be a nightmare. It would be a nightmare. There'd be a whole fucking Instagram up. Simcoe versus Mosaic.
Simcoe.
Just say it. Mentor beer check. Should we do an NBC?
I have a little bit left, but yeah, sure.
We don't. Yeah, I've got half a beer right here, half a White Claw.
I'll top. This is my Hefeweizen, so I'll just top it off.
We can do small NBC. Simcoe versus Mosaic. Shout out to the 62 people here right now. I got a question for you.
Yep.
No, we'll do an NBC after this. What's your take on brown ales? Do you want them to... They are like dwindling off. Brown ales are very few and far between these days, and it kind of bums me out, and I've actually made note of it. Like if I see a brown ale, I don't even order stouts. I don't get porters anymore unless it's wintertime. What's your take on brown ales? Do you think that the trend is dying? Do you think that it's just too malty or sugary? But in San Diego, they are not around anymore. No one's doing brown ales anymore.
Wow.
No one's doing them around here either, but I'm also from the Northeast, so that explains a lot. But I got to be honest, from like my personal standpoint, I don't like them at all.
Too malty?
But also, I think, I think it has a lot to do with the fact that my first one was Newcastle, and I fucking hate that beer.
I love that beer. That beer got me through
Really?
high school. Yeah.
Just something about it, like the aftertaste, or I don't know what it is, but I'm not a fan.
No ambers anymore either. Ambers and all malty beers are like going down this weird.
You know what though? I've
decline.
seen a few. Well, maybe like 3 hoppy ambers, and one of which was approached as if it were a New England IPA, which is from Treehouse. I don't remember the name, but it was really weird. It was like a hazy amber. It looked odd.
I don't like when they do that. I don't want the hoppy amber. I don't want the hoppy brown. I just want like a brown. I want like a real,
classic,
like a 5% really good brown ale. And I've got the itch again. I go through beer styles like I go through bands, and I get into a style for a year. I get into a band for a year, and then I get burned out. And like when I go out, like the number one thing on my mind right now is because I'm kind of burned out on like the whole like craft beer Czech Pilsner things. Everyone tried to do like a Mexican lager. A lot of them are just kind of not lagery, or they might taste too salty or limey or something. But brown ales are like delicious. It's not that difficult of a beer to make. You know, there's no crazy dry hop, or there's no crazy, you know, two boils, 2 chills or anything. And they're just not around. And I don't know. I want to see it come back.
Been no mandatory beer chug yet, so I just yelled at the wife. I'm so anxious.
Who is that? Who wrote that?
Kim Hill.
Kim Hill. We'll do one. We'll get down with it. Shout out to Kim Hill,
hilarious.
man. I've got him in the link in the bio. I'm going to start getting these guys' names in here that do the super chats, because I like how Brian does that with his Patreon, and it gives people shout outs. And I'm going to chop all these videos up, and me and Gnome are going to be obnoxious tomorrow. There's going to be like 8 videos talking about Survivor football and 106 degrees in Rhode Island.
Back off, war child.
I purposely didn't drink beer before this, so I can actually be somewhat coherent.
I don't drink beer. I don't drink beer anymore. Before, like when I started going back and looking at these happy hours, some of them would be like 4 hours. And I was like, there's no good. People in the comments were like, CH is slurring, Maury's drunk. It's not good to be on a live stream and be, taking shots and shit like that.
I've experienced it.
Yeah.
The first 2 times, dude, I was fucking hammered, man.
Yeah. And everyone kind of feels stupid in the morning. It's like, just don't even let it go here. Stay sober. It's an hour and a half. We've got a half an hour to go. We've got good questions. The chat's here. Jacob Fish just brewed an amber today, first on my anvil. Shout out to Jacob Fish for bringing back the malty vibes. I know that Gnome's kind of scarred from his early days with Newcastle, but bring ambers back. Bring them back. I mean, what's the difference between an amber and a brown? Crystal 80 to Crystal 20 or 40. I mean, they're very similar. They're very delicious. Rob Barnes, I will order a brown if they have it on tap, but it's hard to find. Agreed. Definitely agreed.
Yeah, for sure.
I
think that's the main problem nowadays is there's just too many options that are that sell better, basically. Like if you make a fruited sour, it's gonna sell out. If you make a hazy IPA, it's gonna sell out.
It's gonna sell out.
You make a brown ale, that thing's fucking like 4 months from now. I'm like, we still have like how many kegs of that shit?
It's been sitting before COVID. Chris Ratty, Cleveland Browns are garbage, but brown ales are great. And it's funny, that's funny as shit, but what you just brought up, because I subscribe to Craft Beer and Brewing Magazine, and on every like page 2 or whatever, there's a note from the editor or the owner or something. And he's talking about like hate IPAs or love IPAs. And he just has like this little column on the left-hand side where he talks about something, any kind of current trend going on. And in that article or that little column, he talks about how there's just IPA has just kind of become a marketing tool. Like hazy IPAs are not really IPAs. Anything that's like a little bit of got a bitterness to it, they're going to slap IPA on it. Everything's going to be IPA lager, just that word IPA. And it's kind of just takes away from real IPAs. And I think hazy IPA started that, because if you look at like session IPAs, they were still like 60 or 70 IBUs. It was kind of the same amount of hops, just less, fermentable sugars, fermentable grains. Mm-hmm. But when some hazies came out, and I was like, dude, this tastes like an Orange Julius. This tastes like a pineapple smoothie from the mall, and you're slapping IPA on it. Like, this is kind of weird,
Back off, war child.
Yeah, well, that's why I think it kind of took a while to
Budweiser IPA.
Sorry?
Everything's just going to be IPA now, like Bud Light IPA, like Mad Dog 2020 IPA. Just put IPA on it.
Mad Dog, I haven't heard that in years.
MD
dude.
2020, man, the secret
Holy
of the ooze.
Shit.
Jonathan Elliott, IPA equals domestic beer. Pretty much. Minnesota Fats, if anybody has a Green Flash Rayon Vert clone, please let me know. It was my favorite beer. Anybody hear that? Minnesota Fats, Green Flash from San Diego, Rayon Vert clone. Never heard of that, but now it's on my radar. That's what this is all about. That's what this chat is all about. I hated IPAs until I tried a Treehouse beer. Treehouse is like
that's what got me into brewing.
Society's pupil of the East Coast.
I could tell a story where I first went there and my mind was fucking blown. And this was like in 2016, I think.
Hard seltzer IPA.
Oh my gosh. Bud Light IPA, Mad Dog 2-2.
Yeah, it'll happen. Let's hear the story.
Back off, war child.
Oh, well, this is back when they were in Monson.
Where's that?
So now they're in Charlton. It's in Massachusetts, but Massachusetts, like, people think Boston, right?
Right.
So I'll take a little bit. I'll try to not like take up too much time, but I used to be on
take all the time up.
Beeradvocate.com. I'm sure everyone knows about that. So that's where I started before I was actually brewing beer. I was just like, buying beer and like, typing out like what it looked like, what it tasted like, smelled like, all that stuff. And I got up to like 200 plus beers, and I was like, it didn't even dawn on me to like look up the best beer in the world at that point. So I was like, all right, let me check out like, where the best beer in the world is. And like 6, maybe 7 out of the top 10 were from Treehouse. And I'm like, all right, let me look out where this place is. And it was like maybe a little bit over an hour away from me. So I'm like, all right. The next day, I decided to go there. And I asked my dad, I'm like, you want to go to a brewery with me? And I've never been to a brewery before. He had never been to a brewery before. And so we just like, spur of the moment go. And it happened to be the like Saturday before Thanksgiving. So fucking like I did not expect the crowd that was there when I showed up. So we get there and like there's like people like first off we're on like a pretty much what is compared to a mountain in terms of Massachusetts because like you're used to city life and like all of a sudden you're on this hill with like farmland to the right of you, farmland to the left of you. And I'm like, where the fuck are we, So we finally get there, we get out of our car, and like grown males are running to the brewery. I'm like, what the fuck? Why are they running?
It's like Pliny the Elder.
I'm oblivious. I have no clue why they would be running. And then my dad points out some dude who was literally walking to the brewery with a baby stroller with nothing in it.
Fill up
like
some
that's
six-packs.
his like, yeah. So he's gonna put beer in that shit to take it home. So
I
I'm
like
like,
it.
what the? I'm like hitting, and then the smell of the brewery hits too. Like you start smelling that grain, and I'm like, oh shit, okay. And we get around the corner, and I'm like, there's like a sea of people in front of me, and the place hasn't even opened yet.
Yeah.
So that was my first experience with Treehouse, and then obviously I tried the beer, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, it really did like. For me at the time, like all what I considered a great beer was like fucking dwarfed by Treehouse beer.
Right.
Like if I'm being honest, like it was that good.
I kind of have the same story, but like I don't know if you've noticed, but that was Beer Advocate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Beer Advocate and Untapped. If you look at their top 100 beers or whatever, you could tell straight off the bat that one of them's East Coast and one of them's West Coast. Have you ever noticed that?
No.
Look up Untapped.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense. So you'd see the most popular beers, probably Untapped is West, I would assume.
Untapped is West. And I remember looking at this and I was like, one of these has to be bullshit. And I was going to make a video on it. I was going to make a Homebrew for Life video. Untapped is a joke. Untapped is probably more of a joke. Thoughts on pumpkin beer as a fan, Brian Beer? We'll get to pumpkin beer here in a second. But
yeah.
I remember looking at Untapped and Beer Advocate. I was like, none of these check out. But the ones that were on Untapped on the West Coast one was Treehouse and the
Hired Hands maybe. Oh, Hill Farmstead.
Alchemist. Who's the Alchemist? Heady Topper. But I remember looking at Beer Advocate and I was thinking like Beer Advocate's the joke because like 7 out of their 10 beers, their best beers, are all from Treehouse. And I was like, this can't be true. Like this can't be. I don't know if it was 7 out of 10 or if it was 6 out of 10. But I was like,
something stupid like that.
It was something stupid like that. I was like, this looks like bullshit. This looks like Treehouse is funding Beer Advocate, this whole website, this whole magazine, this whole whatever it is. And lo and behold, the more I got into like hearing about East Coast beers, it was like, no, like people rep Treehouse and Heady Topper or the Alchemist. Is it the Alchemist or Alchemy?
Alchemist.
And I was like, and I figured the video out. I was like, I'm not going to make this video. I can't make this video where I talk about how one of these Untapped or Beer Advocate is a joke because it's not. One of them's just West Coast and one of them's just East Coast.
Wow.
Yeah, that makes sense. I do know. I think. Well, I shouldn't say I do know. I believe Beer Advocate sold maybe a year or two ago. I'm sure.
To AB InBev or whatever.
I don't know. The last, I kind of stopped going onto their website because they got political as well.
What?
But that's another story.
It doesn't matter which way you go. All right, we'll leave it at that. Yeah. I think I know which way they went, and we'll leave it at that.
You can probably guess.
Yeah.
But they're
which is
Beer
like
Fest.
Just beer and politics is like beer is like politics and sports.
It's
the dumbest fucking thing on planet Earth. I know.
But their Extreme Beer Fest were fucking phenomenal. Like all the top breweries would go there, and they would literally make a beer for that festival.
Mm-hmm.
So it was all the best breweries were really trying some shit and like sticking their neck out and like saying like some would be like obviously probably not going to taste good. Like every step of the process would be like a different type of onion. Like they would maybe like caramelize it using it in the mash. Then they would like fucking dice up some red onions, ferment them, like weird shit like that. Like
Yeah.
tomato, there was a tomato beer, but I gotta be honest, like a lot of the beers there were like phenomenal. Like there were some breweries that weren't trying to go for like the shtick, and they were actually like, all right, we'll dry hop more than we've ever done before, that type of thing, that type of approach. So that when they did those types of events, I loved it, but I don't know, like I guess I'm not really sure why, but like I just stopped going to the website. It just stopped being fun for me.
Too
I'll
much
just leave it at
politics.
that. A little bit, yeah. Like
I
I don't mind if they have, but like don't like the front page of your website, like where you log on, like I don't know.
I posted something a couple years ago, and I'll talk about this. And I learned really fast, like, to not do this. And I always wanted the happy hour to be kind of like a little bit more behind the curtain and stuff. And I've said that before. And I've talked to my friends that own breweries, and they're like, I pretty much can't come on the happy hour anymore because if you own a brewery, you have to be more PR'd out. You have to be like, everything's good, everything's ass and titties.
Dead
The
center.
world's, yeah. What about COVID? Oh, it's fine. The world's, business is good. And it's like, you laid off half your team. It's like that. They can't come on the internet and say stuff like that. And I get it. So it's pretty much, which is why I kind of stopped doing the broadcast, which was a Spotify happy hour, but, or a Spotify podcast. But I'm kind of apolitical. I'm kind of with Genius. I kind of just roll with the punches. As soon as people start thinking it's like good guy versus bad guy, I don't want that because I don't want to think like the media like worked on me like that. I kind of hate all.
I just hate the team type shit. Like
I just hate
you're.
Yeah, I just think the world's kind of up to you. Like the world is what you make it. Like I wouldn't bank on anybody to actually make your life better. Just fucking wake up, outwork people, and the only thing I really care about people is kind of their work ethic, and that's kind of your respect. Your word is your bond. But I remember when Gavin Newsom got busted for going to restaurants and stuff because he was like, COVID, strike fear. Then he got busted going out to dinner, and there's pictures of him hanging out with like 20 people drinking wine and stuff. I reposted that on Twitter, Instagram, and I got like no likes, and it puckered up. And I knew like right then I was like, I can't be making videos about beer. I don't care if you're left or right. This guy just said all this shit, and then he did the exact opposite. Like do as I say.
Yeah, I agree with you completely.
Yeah,
another thing
I put that out there, and I got no likes. And I was looking at it, and I immediately got a call from my girlfriend at the time. She's like, "You need to take this down right now. You need to take this down right now." And at the time, I was like, "Well, he's shutting down all my friends' breweries and businesses, whatever." It's like, she said, anything that you say political will cut everybody in half.
But keeping his own wineries open, by the way. Or at least I heard that. I don't know if it's any.
Oh yeah. It's all like the most hypocritical shit you could ever imagine on planet Earth. It's like something out of a movie. But my girlfriend sent me down. She was like, anything you say political will cut whatever
half your audience
in half. We're a country divided into two different groups. I have Hellbrews on. He's got, in Mexico, there's 20 different political parties that people get sold on. In America, it's
really?
Democrats and Republicans.
Too.
As soon as you say that, you cut that in half. And I deleted it. And I don't think too many people saw it, but I'll remember that forever. And I'm probably blowing it right now, just saying what I'm talking about. But I was like, I just thought it was like the funniest thing in the world, like the most ironic thing that this guy is like, everyone's dying, like, and I don't want to strike a nerve because I do have friends that have been affected by COVID, yada yada yada.
Yeah,
but then to be like out at like a dinner party, getting busted like downtown Napa, like in the heart of like Sonoma, exactly. That's the point.
Like,
that's the point.
Pretty simple,
right? And I learned real fast that beer brings people together. In anything, and people like, I go out to breweries and people like openly ask like, did you get vaccinated? Like, who did you vote for? I'm like, any answer I say is gonna I'm gonna punch you in your fucking face.
Yeah.
Like anything I say is gonna divide anybody. We're all stare at media all day. We're all sold on different things. We're not all gonna be the same. Anything that I say is gonna fuck all this up.
You know what I've noticed recently too is because I'm independent, I try to like take everything, in the middle and like make up my own point of view, and people don't even like that.
I don't care. I have friends that are far left and far right. As long as you fucking have good work ethic, I don't care. As long as you're a nice person, I don't care. I don't care if you want to spray paint MAGA or Black Lives Matter on your hat. I don't care. I just have good work ethic and fucking
shitbag.
Don't make me flip the bill every time we go out, like as long as you I hate that too. Some friends will just kind
Yeah.
of, as soon as the check comes, they have to go to the bathroom. You know, as soon as the check comes, they're like, hey, that's the wife, you know, whatever. It's like, didn't you not pay the last 10 times? That pisses me off too. People with bad work
Yeah.
ethic and people that are kind of stingy at this age piss me off. But other than that, I don't fucking care what anyone's political views are. And long story short, I put political views on the internet. I
You learn from it though, so that's all that matters.
right. But it's like, people would be like, hey, you're dissing like a Democrat. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm just dissing a fucking liar. I'm just making fun of a hypocritical liar. That's what I did. It could have been red, blue, whatever. And I'm talking about leaving California, and people are like, are you going to move to like a red state or a blue state? I'm like, I don't care at all. I'm going after property. I don't care at all if like what
And I'm assuming that's why
flags you want to put up. I don't
Tennessee's
care.
property is cheap at the moment. So
I got into Nashville originally. Like originally, there's a lot of
that
people.
place is amazing.
It's amazing, and I haven't been there, but a lot of people are saying it's like an up and coming Portland, Oregon, and Portland is expensive as shit right now. It's expensive as shit. If you can get in, what's up?
I wouldn't make that comparison personally, but because I've been there, but only once. But it didn't seem like a Portland type area. But
If you can get into, and when I was talking to Kyle from Clawhammer, he's like, no, the place you really want to go right now is Kyle from Clawhammer is complaining. He's like, yeah, we bought a house. It's getting all expensive over here. The house is like $250,000. There's nothing in my neighborhood for $250,000. There's nothing. Yeah. There's it probably starts at like $800,000.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah.
But he's like, hey, if you want to like, you know, make your money now, get into Johnson City, Tennessee. So I'm going to try to check it out. I'm going to go out there. I want to go to Florida. I want to go to Tennessee. I want to go to Nashville. It's got nothing to do at all with any, I don't care fucking at all what the state votes for. Trust me. All I want is to be able to buy a house with not too many people. There's not a zillion people when I'm waiting for, 40 minutes of traffic every single way I go in Southern California. Texas is calling me. Rubio, Texas. I've heard I know a lot of people moved out to Texas. I got a lot of friends who moved out to Texas. I could deal with I think I could deal with the hot better than I could deal with the cold.
Yeah, really.
I don't know.
I think a lot of people would agree with you, but I grew up in the Northeast, so my goal is to like retire in Maine, New Hampshire, or Vermont, one of those three.
So it's super hot and it's super cold.
Well, not where I just mentioned, but in Rhode Island, we're like in this place where it's brutal in the summer and fucking brutal in the winter, so you can't really win.
Okay, Brian.
We have
what?
We have maybe 4 or 5 months of really good weather, and the rest is like kind of shitty.
That's like most places. Like San Diego is like the only, I don't know, not San Diego, but LA, but a lot of California. Like even San Francisco is freezing your ass off. I went to college up in Northern California, and there was times where we're just blowing air. We're like, and we could see.
Oh, your breath out of the condensation.
Yeah. San Diego is like its own different breed, unless you're getting into like some killer spot. I don't know, the South America or Central America or something like that. But as far as weather goes, like most places on the earth are like pretty fucking cold. All right, Jacob Kendrick, where do you live?
Let me know.
Where do you live? You bought a house. You bought it with 3,000 people.
3,000 people, yeah.
For $150,000. And you know what's funny is like there's so many good cities in America that are still out there that are just untapped. And if you get in there now, you could triple your money in 10 years or something, But like we've talked about this before. If you go out to like, Arizona or Scottsdale or whatever, it's like you're not going to save that much money. But if you did that 10 years ago, you could have retired. Not retired, but, you could have been living way more better. Austin or nothing in Texas, Chris Rowdy. Trampy Cakes. Waco's okay, but if you visit, I will get you a round of whiskey at Balcones. Trampy Cakes, I am taking you up on that, Braj. That calls for an NBC. We're coming up to 80 people. Theron, affordable. Austin, LOL. He doesn't like that. Rubio. Fab Steady, easier to stay warm than cold. Fab Steady, tons of people are coming here from Cali. I want to retire in Tennessee. I'm going to go with Rubio.
Yo, CH, you mind if I take a piss break real quick?
No, not at all.
I'll be right back.
Actually, I do mind. It's going to cost you. I'm just kidding, man. 5,000 population in my town and 450 is the mean. I would love to be up there. I would love to be up in Oregon. Trampy Cakes. I'm a bartender there, so I got you. Where are we going again? I've been to Plano and I've been to wherever their pro soccer team plays fields. Diet Buns. Carmel, Canada has many breweries. Check it out. I think a lot of big city pretty much has a good beer scene at this point. Texas is awesome, but it's hot as fuck. I can deal with the hot.
Wow.
Balcones Distillery is out in Waco. Shout out to Trampy Cakes, man. Shout out to all you guys. We're here. We're good. Jacob Kendrick. Jesus, Jonathan, that's insane. That's a good ratio. Thumbs down. 79 people in here and 4 likes. Let's smash that like button. Shout out to Hector Topati, man. Cheers, Braj. What's H-Town? Is that Jamie or Heine? Canales. Move to a college town with good hospitals. What does that mean? Jacob Fish. CH. Beercation in Belgium, Germany, or Czech Republic. All 3 of those. In any of that order. That's my dream. That would be my dream. I want to do like a what's the movie called? Beer Fest, where they wear like the American zip-ups, the one pieces, and they go out there for the Oktoberfest. We would do that. We would definitely do that. Born and raised in West Texas, which is why I live in New Mexico. Not sure what that means. Sounds like he's trying to get out of West Texas. I don't know what West Texas means at all. Belgium is amazing for beer. I know. Houston has some good breweries. I know. Just Brewing turns me on to a lot of those. Just Brewing. Is he in here? Just Brewing in the house? Just Brewing in the house? If I was Yeast and also a beast, what would my first name be? His name is Spencer.
Wow.
I'm back. No more looking at my sleeping bag behind me.
Is it still 80 degrees in your room?
81.3 at the moment.
All right, we're going to do an NBC, and I'm going to do it with a Belgian. Should we do a big NBC? I've got 2 NBC buttons. I've got a bunch of NBC buttons. Oh, it cooled down.
No, it's 81.3. That 61 is the humidity.
Oh, I read 61 as Fahrenheit. I'm an idiot. Yeah. Shout out to everyone who's here right now. We'll do an NBC. This is Gnome Brewing. Again, shout out to anybody who subscribed to his channel. That was super awesome. Did he get over 200?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I'll tell you
I
right
never
now.
look at that.
198. 198.
Oh, shit. So close.
NBC at 200.
We need these 2 dudes with 1 mug to fucking set.
Beerfest 2006. I love that movie. Barry Badgernath. Check out Tennessee. I'm with Brian BBQ. 100%. Madison Border, welcome, man.
There's a really good beer fest. I don't know if they still do it. In Nashville called Music City Beer Fest. Fucking phenomenal time. If they still put it on, I don't know if they do. And also Yazoo. I don't know if the dude who's talking about Nashville, but Yazoo and Jackalope, really good breweries.
Yeah, when people like, I think like every city is a good beer town. People think it's just like Portland and San Diego and Houston and I don't know outside of that, but it's like there's probably 1 million breweries in every big town at this point.
What's funny is there's 2 Portlands that are amazing beer towns, actually. Like on the East Coast, actually, I think in the whole country, per capita, there's more breweries in Portland, Maine than anywhere else in the country. So then you also have obviously Portland, Oregon. So
cheers to Chris Ratty. Sorry, they got you over 200 though. 205.
Wow, thank
Minnesota
you so much, guys.
Fats.
I do appreciate it. 205 already. Holy, what the fuck?
Yeah, we got to do an NBC for that.
All right, let's do it.
All right, here we go. We'll do a big one, and I'll probably have time to shit, shower, and shave because this is a long one. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
I got another pale ale on there, and I got another hard seltzer. Are you down to keep this going?
Yeah, dude, I'm here until you fucking kick me out.
All right. Well, we're here till we regret it in the morning or something. I don't know. Yeah. 206. All right, here we go.
I know what we have to do.
What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What?
Just say it!
M.
Say it.
B.
No. Say when.
C.
Yep.
Over there. Can you see us?
Not yet.
You're on like a 10-second delay. Shout out to everybody who subscribed to Gnome's channel. That was good. Fatality. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. All right. I'm going to go get one more and we'll cruise right back. But Gnome, tell us what the topic is.
So I thought about another time where I had to dump a beer, but it was a lesson learned in a really good way, actually, potentially. And maybe somebody else can learn from this as well. In terms of Saison, with how dry a beer can be, it kind of like reveals a lot of specialty malts. Like, we all have done smash beers where it's, one malt, there's no hiding it. That's what it does, But in a Saison, oftentimes you kind of add like a small percentage of wheat or spelt or buckwheat, whatever it is. I thought it was a great idea to use Cara Munich one time, and only at 3.5% of the grain bill. So I was like, all right, let's try it. Let's see what this does. Unfortunately, it never matured. It never became like a beer that was really good. However, now whenever I taste other beers that have Cara Munich in it, I pick up on it instantly because there's nowhere to hide in a beer that finishes at 1002 because I use French Saison yeast. So that Cara Munich was like, okay, this is what I do. So I guess like my takeaway from that was as long as you use a really dry, fully attenuating yeast, you can kind of actually, because specialty malts, you have to use them in small amounts. Obviously, you can't do like, I don't know, fucking 30% special B, But if you put a little bit in a Saison, you're gonna pick up on that. That's pretty much all I was saying. Like the beer, unfortunately, was a toss, but I was like, okay, well, going further, like onward, I can maybe like mix this in as like a learning technique. Like I said, it's like a smash beer, but instead of like a base malt, you're trying to figure out what a specialty malt does. And like I said, it's just a theory. That's like, I was like, all right, well, maybe I can take this as a positive. But unfortunately, the beer went down the drain. But anyways, end of story.
It's a good story. Theron says that's why he's here. No, you got a couple shout outs, man. Looks like Diet Buns was 206. Yeast in the Barrage was 207. Rubio, Diet Buns, 209, 209. And we're looking over here. And you're over at 210, which means you have to put out content now. Jack Martino, congrats to him on 200 subs.
After I can make it public right now, but I won't do that. After I get off here, I'll make a video public, and then I'll like put out the next two. I promise.
All right.
I'm really slow, unfortunately.
You mean you have a video set up that all you have to go is from private to public right now?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll wait. We don't want to compete with us hanging out right now. We're chilling.
Yeah, that's why I didn't because literally it went fucking, it was like HD maybe 20 minutes before broadcast, or whatever you want to call this.
Yeah.
And by the way, you're the Joe Rogan of brew tubers.
What do you mean?
Look at what you're doing. You're like, you have different brewers on, and you talk to them, and you open up and shit. Like, you're literally the Joe Rogan of brew tubers.
I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you.
It is.
Thanks, brother. Cheers, man.
I'm sure people in chat agree. I can't be the only person that made that fucking connection.
Joe Rogan of Barrage Tubers. Thanks, man. Well, thanks for your time too, man. And we still got 70 people here, 67 people here. Couple thumbs downs, couple thumbs ups. Life's good. And Jacob Kendrick, he totally is. I'm Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I agree, man.
I'm Joe Rogan with a borderline beer addiction and a shittier gut. Huge compliment. Appreciate that, man. Much love. I don't think we're going to do one tomorrow night. I'm trying to get Barbecue Larry on. Larry Barbecue. There you go.
Sorry.
There's a pour. 10:30 East Coast time, man. I love it. I'm trying to get Larry on. There's also a football game I might want to watch tomorrow night, and we may or may not be here, man. So I'm really grateful for everybody who is here tonight, and we just hit the 90-minute mark. Rubio, it's a compliment. That looks like mud bud.
It's So it's a mango sour, but they added, I think it's called butterfly pea.
Butter
something
stuff.
Like that.
Butter snuff.
It makes it purple, and you don't taste it, but it looks fucking really weird. Yeah, it looks like pond water.
Looks like something you drink to get sober, or like to go lift weights better or something. Go Buccaneers! We got a Florida fan or Tampa Bay fan in the house.
Back off, war child.
I should have opened my own beer. You think we have like another hour or so?
Yeah, that all depends. We might be going off the deep end after one. I've got two. I've got one here, and I've got one back there, and 5 more minutes, one more beer. Remember, college town.
5 more beers.
Why does Minnesota Fats keep writing that? He wants me to move to a college town with good hospitals. We're not calling nothing quits. We just crack beers, Braj. The way I see it, we've only just begun. And that's the way I see Homebrew for life. That's the way I see Homebrew for life. Because we're coming up on our 200th video. And we're finally getting some of the love. YouTube's weird. YouTube's really weird. But like we put out a video like dill pickle goza or something. Or how to, kettle sour. And we're finally getting love right now. It's weird.
On that video?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
yeah. YouTube will go back.
Really?
Yeah. YouTube will go back and pull videos in. They're like, okay, you withstood the test of time. You guys are putting out enough content.
We'll show you this now.
We'll put this video more in a little bit of like recommended videos and stuff like that. So the way I see it, like Homebrew for Life, it's only getting started. I mean, my only goal for Homebrew for Life is to put out 400 videos on that channel, and I'm up to like 195.
Halfway there.
Almost halfway there.
Yeah.
Almost halfway there. And YouTube's just a bitch. Like they just, back in the day, it was so easy to get like a video that got some shine or whatever. But now it's like, you got to work from like the ground up. You just got to like really, I don't know why they do that. I think they're just trying to maybe like deny the viral video, and they just want to give it to, there's no such thing as a viral video in the homebrewing community, but like, if 10 guys put out the same exact video at the same length, they're going to give the most shine to the channel that's probably got the most videos and been doing it the longest. But the algorithm Sorry, what?
I was going to say, I think it has more to do with topics as well. Like, I mean, there are some people there are very few homebrewer channels with like anywhere close to 100,000. The only one I can think of is like the craft beer channel from UK, which they are over 100, but
Clawhammer.
Oh, yeah. Are they over 100 now? I knew they were close.
Dude, you know what's crazy? Is that when Larry Barbecue Cable Guy came out, like 10 years ago. Yeah. Larry's my barrage. He's
he's great, but that's hilarious. Though.
Yeah, Larry the barbecue barrage. Joe Rogan or bro jogging? No clue what that means. What's up? Animated Homebrews in the house. Big shout out to Animated. Check out his channel too.
Oh, hell yeah.
He's got a killer channel. He's doing the Belgian vibe over there, and his channel rips. And he finally got some shine on one of his videos. He's got some good shine. But when Larry was putting out videos back in the day, murder balling it. Same with Clawhammer. Like back in the day, if you made like how to force carbonation or how to, I don't know, do anything, how to do all grain or how to do extract. There was, I just don't know. Some of their old videos, killing it, hundreds and thousands and stuff like that. And then if you look at Larry nowadays, like he gets no love from YouTube. He gets no love, and he's almost got 100,000 subscribers.
Well, he has kind of been
dipped out
a little.
He's kind of flared out a little bit too. YouTube wants you putting out like a video a week or at least some stories or some TikTok, or not TikToks, but the shorts or something like that. And I like doing the shorts because I watch people do shorts. So I'm like, it's just a minute. Sometimes if you see someone put out a BrewTube video, and they're like, oh, it's a 27-minute long video. You're like, I want to watch that, but I'll watch it when I go home, and then I'll forget to watch it. But if it's a short, you just like click on it. You're like, hey, I'm waiting in traffic. I'm waiting for food or something. Like, I'll just hit on it. So I do like the shorts because you could have a lot of information in 59 seconds or whatever.
Yeah, and also people's attention span is very
Nowadays with the younger crowd. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of the whole point of that, I guess, is to like, hey, check out my other stuff eventually, hopefully, if I get your attention, you know what I mean?
In a perfect world, in a perfect world for me putting out content on YouTube, and I love YouTube, I love production. We went through this before, like when I started making YouTube videos, we're all like, what are we doing? People think we're idiots. Now I get bummed out when I'm not putting out content, and I don't care. I'm not putting it on Facebook for the old high school crowd. I don't want my ex-girlfriends to see this or anything like that. But I know that there's like a small amount of people out here that'll watch, the content that a brew tuber would put out. But I want to do a real Homebrew for Life video a week, a short on Homebrew for Life, a stream once a week, and then like a little excerpt, something we took apart from the show tonight. We started talking about why politics and beer don't mix, why brown ales need to have a comeback, how to throw
you do that very well, by the way.
What's up?
You do that very well, by the way, because you do that. Like you have these little 3-hour long conversations, and you'll like take like something that'll maybe like connect with people, and you'll put that up like maybe 2 or 3 days later.
Yeah,
I've noticed.
Well, thank you. And I get a lot of comments too. So people are like, hey, what's up with this? What's up with that? And like, they're pretty much writing for this live stream right now. And I'll take like, yeah, where are brown ales? How did Gnome Brewing have that sticker on his bottle? Because the way I thought about it, you had like a machine done it. And you're like, no, I do it all hand by hand.
Yeah.
Like, damn, dude.
I care.
I don't have the patience for that shit. So I would want a Homebrew for Life once a week. I would want a short once a week. I would want to do a stream once a week, and then one of those little things so I could pick apart. I was like, that's. I'm not going to burn out, maybe, but everyone gets burned out of their job eventually. Everyone's. But at the end of the day, it's like, for me, it's kind of like more of an emotional thing. Like, dude, I got to put my face in front of the camera. But it's like, nah, man, like, hide all emotion. Just put out content. Like, just put out content. Be a fucking robot right now and just put out content.
Well, that's not good either.
What's up?
That's not good either.
It's not good when you're explosively hungover. If you're hungover and you're like, we're filming today and Maury's coming over and people are knocking at the door and I want to die right now, I can't do that anymore. That's the shit that like, oh, we have to like scream in front of a camera and make a mess in the kitchen. Like, that's what I can't do anymore. And that just happens if I drink IPAs all day. Yeah. Like my hangovers come from day drinking. So Jonathan Elliott, you're old. He's not lying. He's not lying. Aaron Barzamian, I'm here late. What up, suckers? What's up, Aaron? We got Trans Am guys still here. We got PA still in the house. These live streams are always a good watch. Shout out to Trans Am. We're trying to get Party Time Brewer on. He's up there in Canada. We could. You only really need.
That's a new one to me. Let me add him now.
Who?
Party Time Brewing.
Party Time Brewing. That's James out there. And all you really need is like a $30 camera. I think you've got some good stuff because I know Gnome is in production. He's a musician. Musicians have, I could tell by your camera right there. Is that a Shure?
Oh yeah, this is a SM57. I have another.
I think I knew that from the last time. But you don't need all this good stuff that Party Time has, and I've got a Audio Technica something. You know who bought a $30 camera to come on? Was Clawhammer Supply. He was like, do I buy this or buy that or buy that? I'm like, dude, just buy like a 30. It's all based off your lighting. This
I will say this.
A 1-inch screen right here.
My webcam costs $12.
Your webcam looks as good as my webcam.
Literally $12.
Mine was $50. I got ripped off. I got ripped the fuck off.
I only bought this because I was supposed to do a Zoom call, like, maybe 6 months into COVID with a bunch of my friends because we haven't seen each other.
Yeah.
And the only time I've ever used this was coming on this fucking show. So there you go. Thank you.
Well, we got some subscribers out of it. We got people to, see the personality behind the channel. And if no one's ever watched your video, now that they know to watch your videos. So Elliot Tucker, homebrew for life, 100 years, 100 homebrew years, homebrew for life forever. Until I die. But it'll be around forever until I die. Forever until I die. That's the name of a band. That's the name of a beer. John, fucking hilarious. Cheers, John. Jeffrey Marrow, $12 you win. $12.
Are you drinking water or seltzer?
I'm drinking another fucking Truly, dude.
Truly.
A Homebrew for Life channel.
Seltzer, then.
I've got like a torpedo in there, and I've got one more of these.
So let me ask you, what do you have fermenting right now, if anything?
What do I have fermenting right now? Nothing.
Really?
Nothing. I've got that beer that I told you about, the maple bacon beer.
Right.
And I'm going to try to give it 3 or 4 more days, but I don't think, because sometimes a lot of off flavors go away with just time, but I do not think I don't think this is one of those times. So I've only got, and I always push keg raters over keezers, and there's 3 levels of kegging. You don't want to get the little shitty mini fridge one, because they don't get cold enough, and you don't really need a chest freezer or keezer unless you've got a lot, like 4, 5, 6 beers going at once. I always have 1 or 2 beers going. I always do. I'm going to give it a couple more days. I think that it's tasting a little bit better, but I tried it again today, and yeah, and we'll talk about that right now too. Party Time Brewing. But I think I'm going to throw it out, and Party Time Brewing just brought up a good point. Like, instead of throwing a batch out, there's things you can do. There's things you could do with bad batches of beer. And that's probably number 1, Party Time Brewing. You could distill it.
And some of them are illegal.
Some of them are illegal-ish. More legal than others, depending what country you're in. But no, I know people that will distill it. They will distill it, and that's the best course of action, because you're just getting the alcohol out of it, pulling it into a still, bringing it back, and then diluting it with water. I know some people that pour it on flowers. They'll take their beer and they'll put it in their garden. You can make...
I've done that.
You've done that?
I've dumped beer in some... Yeah, I'm not even kidding.
And the grass grew like a motherfucker. Yeah.
On my hops, even. Yeah. Like, yeah, dude. Yeah. That's weird. I didn't even think about that until you mentioned that. Yeah, I've totally done that. Because you got to think about it. It's loaded with, like, vitamins.
There's a ton there's a ton of vitamin B. There's a ton of amino acids. Yeah. It's like the buddy that goes fishing. And when he catches a bunch of fish, there's always like a bunch of blood in the cooler. Well, he'll take that fish, whatever, that watery blood, and he'll pour it on his roses, and he's got the most beautiful roses anyone's ever seen before. Because if you think about it, that's like the core of fish fertilizer. I mean, that's like the core of like all the fish stuff that they put in whatever. I don't really know how it works, but he's like, yeah, the best thing for my garden is the fish blood from water coolers. So that's pretty much it. I mean, you could either distill it, you could either dump it on your...
probably high in iron, I would imagine.
It's got it all, man. It's got it all. Plants love beer, especially probably...
I'm curious why like fish blood in particular would be very beneficial. But I mean, yeah, it has other things in it as well. But
yeah, I mean, if you're thinking
whatever works.
Yeah, like that's like an old... not wives' tale, like I'm not gonna say Chinese secret, ancient Chinese secret, even though I just did. But he's like, yeah, that's the number one thing. He's like, I put all the fish blood from the cooler on my roses, and they grow so beautiful, so big, and so fast, better than anything you could buy in a store. Right. So that's why when you dump your beer out, all of a sudden, like your grass is like 6 inches higher that day. You're like, what went on? There's all these giant tarantulas and praying mantises all hanging out. You're like, I don't know. One of my favorite things to tell people that don't know much about beer, especially like, homebrewed beer. And when I tell them this, they're like, what? They like, doubt me. But just the fact that, you can live off beer literally for like 2, maybe 3 months without food is fascinating. Yeah. Like, that's absolutely insane. And then when you tell people that, especially saisons, people would drink this instead of water because water wasn't safe. And like that's my like entry point to like try to
entice people into like looking more into beer.
Right.
But it's still fascinating.
four
It's just like,
child,
what the fuck?
seriously.
That's actually, yeah, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Like, people used to drink beer instead of water. Like,
Right.
think about that for a second. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
don't know why they didn't just boil the water, but yeah, that was true. There's books on that and
Yeah.
stuff.
For sure.
What about this?
Yeah.
Can you make vinegar out of beer? Or does that come from shitty wine?
I don't even know, to be honest.
Can
I
the
have
chat
no
help us
fucking
out?
clue.
Can the chat help us out? Theron, you helped inspire my kegerator. Right on, Theron. Cheers. Does anybody know if you can get vinegar from bad batches of beer? Trans Am guy, he's taken off. I understand, man. It's probably 11 o'clock in PA.
Yeah.
Fish produce high nitrogen, man. So yeah, everything. That's the answer right there. Everything that we
Nitrogen
buy
creates like great plants without doubt. Like that's what that's when, like, you know, when plants go yellow, they're lacking nitrate. So I would assume, like, yeah, if you like spray whatever the fuck is high in nitrogen, you're gonna have a great yield.
Ben, yeah, you sure can make vinegar from beer. But yeah, it's like everything that we buy, like health, yeast energizer, or diammonium phosphate, all this stuff stemmed from green thumbers using nitrogen in soil. So it's like that fish blood has got to be like the most potent nitrogen ever. It's like, of course, should we start doing that? Pour a bunch of fish blood like in our mash tuns?
I do want to make a squid ink
Back
goza,
off, war child, seriously.
like as a way of like, don't add salt, just add squid ink, because that will be like the salinity.
Cut some beard head in
portion of
there.
the goza.
Cut some beard hair in
I'm
there.
sorry?
Cut some beard hair
Beard
in
hair.
there with
Yeah,
some squid blood. Yeah.
No, because the main thing is the color. Like, how do you get a black beer without like adding roasted malts and without too much flavor? So like, my idea was to add squid ink.
Okay.
Like, I don't know.
Okay.
I just like cut in for some dumb fucking reason, but I'll shut up.
No, I mean, think about it. Like everything since the beginning of time was like pretty much the dumbest thing ever. Like, who's the first guy to eat like a lobster? People thought he was like fucking crazy. Like, you're gonna take this like spider, this ocean spider, and
It used to
eat
be
it.
slave food.
It used to be prison food because it was
Well,
like,
yeah, pretty much like any like people who you would thought were beneath you, you would give them lobster, and now it's like, give me that shit, bitch.
it's a delicate-
I'll
it's a
fucking eat this shit
delicacy.
myself.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But imagine like the first guy to eat like a tarantula or a lizard or a spider or something. It's like, we're not even that, but like the first guys that like ate a berry and this was delicious. This was strawberry. This one killed you. This was blueberry. This one was made you sick for a week. It's like, use that squid ink and let us all know if you live to tell about it, man. But I'll go off you as my personal reference.
Back off, war child, seriously.
Alright, man.
Fish Bud Nitro IPA. Next video, Fish Bud IPA. I'm down.
That's another idea. Well, actual
What if you
blood,
put
like,
fish blood in there and the yeast just like ferments in 6 hours? It's like most of the, amino acids and nitrogen and all the vitamin B12 they've ever seen before. And it's just like Insta beer. Cup noodles beer, but it's the best tasting beer ever.
Cup noodles beer? I think I've seen a can that looked like Cup O noodles. I'm not even kidding. I swear to God that was the thing. I might be wrong, but
Anything's a good idea unless you die. Lobster is a bug. Yeast in the barrage. Darren Blackwood, John, big thanks to you guys. Been trying to check out each happy hour since I found your show. You're pushing me to start brewing again after a long unplanned break for family focus. First beer will be named after you. Cheers to John,
Do it.
man. Much love, Braj. Darren
Do it,
Blackwood,
John.
looking at doing a smash tomorrow with Golden Promise. What's the take on Golden Promise? Is it in between Mary Sauter and Two Row? I mean, how would you explain Golden Promise?
I would maybe a little bit more so than Maris Otter, actually. It's high in protein. It's pretty sweet. It has a little bit more color, a little bit higher
Back off, war
SRM.
child, seriously.
Can be used as a base malt. It's really good in New England IPAs. Treehouse uses it a lot. Like it's expensive too, but I would highly recommend it. Actually, that's one of my few base malts that I hold on hand.
I've never bought it in bulk. I've used Golden Promise here and there, but I've never really it's always been Mary Sauter or Two Row or Pilsner Malt for me. Wow.
Yeah, for me it's literally Golden Promise, Pilsner Malt, and Two Row as well. Yeah, but I just love having Golden Promise on hand if I want to do a New England IPA.
Is that your
'Cause,
go-to for hazies?
I do a blend. I have done full Golden Promise, but I actually do prefer a blend of Golden Promise and two row, like almost 50-50. And I don't want to go on a tangent, but like a lot of people also think like with hazies that you
Go
need
on
like
it.
a shit ton of like flaked adjuncts. You really don't. Like I've done a hazy that was murky as fuck 3 months after I brewed it with no flaked adjuncts whatsoever. So it's all about like when you add your hops. I don't know. Like I don't want to go on a tangent and a rant. I apologize. But
Dude,
anyways,
go
yeah,
on the
use
rant.
Golden
What are you
Promise.
talking about? I go on rants all fucking day. Half the time I'm just talking to myself. You have an audience.
Yeah, I
Back
know.
off,
I
poor child,
just
seriously.
I want to hear about Golden Promise because I really don't know
it's
why I should buy it over the other stuff.
basically, yeah, like I said, like
Just
my
proteins?
high proteins, a little bit deeper color, so you don't even actually have to add like a lot of people. I see a lot of people add honey malt in their New England IPAs, and I do not think it's necessary whatsoever.
I'm with Kim
And
Hill.
I've been
Rant
there,
it up. Rant it up.
and I've been there too. I've done that. I've tried. Oh gosh, what was the other one? Not honey malt. There's another like specialty malt people were trying to use to like kind of boost up like the sweetness
Mr.
of
Beer Kit?
hazies, and I totally forgot what the fuck it was, but I want to hear the rant. Yeah, but anyways, like I'll end it with like just yeah, try Golden Promise. I swear by it. That shit's amazing. It really is.
It's pretty accessible too. A lot of homebrew stores will have it. It's not tough.
And not yeah. It also the online suppliers all carry it as well.
Yeah. Golden Notes.
And it is, I believe, a UK malt, so it probably has some sort of like kind of similarity to Maris Otter. But and people do use Maris Otter in hazies, but primarily I notice it as like the
Wow.
most sizable grain bill of like stouts. Actually, Maris Otter is like a lot of stouts from what I've noticed. But
Yeah, every malty beer pretty much goes with Maris Otter.
yeah.
I mean,
Exactly, and
that's
that's why again, not doing an IPA, you're focusing on like kind of this huge sweetness to supply. Not that it's like gonna taste sweet, that you're just like trying to supply a base for all the hops that you're throwing at it. So that's why it's a really good base malt in New England IPAs.
Keep ranting. Hold it down. I'll be right back.
I will try my
Squeeze.
best. I'll try to like look at what people are saying. I do apologize, guys. I'm trying to fucking shoestring this shit together. Let me look back and see if anyone had any questions. Give her the onion gnome? What the fuck's that mean? I've made 50 hazy, so has Brewcap, and you need flaked. That's hilarious. Yeah, Clint O'Hare. There's a lot of brewing companies named Gnome, and I understand that, which is unfortunate for me, but like it's literally a nickname that was given to me when I was 19 years old. So it's like I just embraced it. So I'm just gonna like run with it, you know. I'm not gonna like, oh, well, there was another brewery had a gnome in their name, so I'm gonna like forget my personality, you know. I'm just gonna be me. Naked oats, yeah, they definitely are a little bit oily. The smell is fucking phenomenal. Like if you keep those in like a contained container, I was about to say, but if you put them in like an airtight container and you like, you know, pop that open when you're about to like, you know, mill, oh my gosh. Alias, I use Carafoam personally, because I like Wireman malts. Carapils is obviously very similar and probably like most people wouldn't be able to tell the difference. So yes, I do like Carapils to answer your question. I use it in a lot of beers as well.
I'm back. What did I miss? Anything cool?
Well, I don't know. I'm just like,
I need a
just,
haircut.
like, trying to answer people's questions.
Dude, your audio sounds on point, Braj. And
Thank
your
you, man.
video. Should I bring it down a little bit? No.
With
we're
my
good.
$12 Amazon fucking camera.
I mean, it's like 1 inch by 1 inch. It's like the size of a Game Boy screen. I mean, a YouTube
yeah.
video is already like 5 by 7. Hack Attack, he's been ranting. That's what we're here for. It's about ranting. Our whole lives, we listen to other people talk. Everyone tells us to shut the fuck up. Start a YouTube channel.
I'm very opinionated, and that's something I've been like trying to like.
Every human is.
I try to dial that back in my videos and also like my posts on like Instagram, because like
Nah, dude.
I don't know everything. I make mistakes. I fucking say dumb shit in my videos where I'm like, oh, I didn't mean to say that, but I post it anyways. It's like whatever. I made a mistake and I'll learn from it. You know.
As long as you're
I was
honest, that's the biggest part of life. Just be honest.
yeah.
And if you do fuck up, own your fuck ups. Just
Yep.
notice,
Yeah.
2 dudes, 1 mug. Creepiest title ever. That is true. Bravo.
Thank
He's
you,
been
Yeast.
ranting.
That Yeast and the Beast. That means a lot to me, dude. This is me. I'm not putting on the front. So
You missed it. Gnomes saved the world by beer. I'm with Kim Hill, man. I don't know what he said, but I believe Kim. Who's this? Here's the Waska.
so Warren Gavin, how do you approach building your grain bill?
Me or
I
you?
try to do is yes, Warren at Gnome Brewing. How do you approach building your grain bill? So I try to focus on the base malts. Obviously everybody, even like pro brewers, I'm sure they look at like, historic recipes or maybe something that they like and they're trying to like dive in to see how that was like brewed, So I do that, but
Mohammed.
even since sorry?
Mohammed said if you get any, I'm sorry, I was thinking out loud. If you're getting any airport security issues with that beard, man.
No. Yeah, a lot of people think I'm Muslim, which is fine, but like I'm actually mostly French. But yeah, thankfully I
It's the
haven't had any
beard.
of-
It's the beard.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
It's the beard. But I do look different than you. Like, obviously, we have beards, but I think you're French. I'm like a big mutt, but you do look a little maybe more Eastern European than I do. Maybe not so much French,
Yeah.
but
Well, so here's the funny thing, real quick. So I'm French and Italian, but for whatever reason, the second time I was on the show, I was so drunk that I'm not even kidding. I noticed it the next day. I'm like, I said I was Irish. What the fuck? I'm not
Irish.
even kidding.
I'm Irish
No, but I
Jewish.
said I was Irish, and I'm not Irish.
Everybody that's white's a fucking mutt. Everyone's a mutt at this.
Oh my God.
Everybody is a mutt from every country dating back. But I do want to do one of those tests. Eric Bone, just joining, so you might have covered it already. Are you considering making a Japanese beer now that you posted that video? Yeah. I mean, it is lager season, Eric Bone. I've done a Mexican lager. To be honest with you, I've never done a beer with rice before. I've never done it. I've just read about it, and I would do it. But here's my problem, like with Homebrew for Life. I can't, because I make these videos and I film them and stuff. I want to make good beer again, but everything I do now is like such an experiment that, we're talking about throwing out batches of beer and kind of just taking shots in the dark. And I'm not honing in any recipes, which is kind of a bummer because I used to do that. I used to do that a lot.
It's important, in my opinion.
It's absolutely important. It's honing in recipes. If you have the same system, it's honing in the recipe. It's like if your system adjusts or you have something that holds bigger quantity or heats something up faster or cools it down faster, you got to adjust and stuff like that. I can't really do that with Homebrew for Life. So if I do make a Japanese lager, I kind of have to be lucky. Not lucky, but I don't want to make too many videos where I'm like, this beer sucks, don't do it, whatever. But if we talk about why it sucked or where we went wrong, I think that could salvage the video. But we can't really hone in good beer. That's what I'm trying to say. It's different.
It's hard to like tell people why a beer sucks, but like, also give insight on like how to make it better. Because you haven't actually done it yet, like in a like a short term. You can't do that in the video where the beer went bad. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You have to actually brew the second beer or the improvement and then compare.
Right.
So it's like kind of like a multi-step process. You can't. Well, unfortunately, with like the internet, it's all instant gratification. But that literally brewing is delayed gratification. And that's another. Actually, I won't say it now, but I have another topic to talk about later. But
I'm on the same page with you 100%. It's like there's certain BrewTube channels out there, and I'll talk about this with you off there. But every time they brew a beer, they're like, "This is like such a good beer. It's like the best beer ever." It's like, no, it's not. No one's like got the best beer ever the first time that they brewed it. and I understand that you know your system. I understand that directions are easy to follow along with Google or something like that. But it's like, I could tell that that's, you know, I've been brewing for 6 years. I've probably done maybe 12 kettle sours. I've done like 4 ones that I would probably sell, 4 ones I could drink, but I wouldn't never make again. And 4 ones where I was like, not holding my nose as I was drinking it, but like, it wasn't like good. And I'm adamant about my temperature and my timing. And maybe Homebrew for Life needs to kind of go in a different direction where it's like, I don't know, maybe anyone's channel, like a grading system. Like I give this like 7 out of 10. I really give this 7 out of 10. And we're not political. We don't get money from advertisers to say it's a 98 or a 96, like Wine Advocate or Beer Advocate. But it's like, where did we go wrong? And let's focus on like the wrongness of it. And I don't know, maybe people might resonate with that more. But when I watch YouTube videos and they're just like, this beer's so good, this is exactly how you make a hazy IPA, I'm like, I think that you either could have lied this whole video, or you could have not even lied, but not even made it, which is lying, but could have like bought this. And I'm not clowning on it. Here's why I do Homebrew for Life the way I do it. Because if we talk about recipe development, it's always subjective. If we talk about how good of the beer is, it's subjective. If I'm like, hey, here's how we're gonna like make a dry hopping hack for $5 or a bucket for $5, that's not subjective. People can follow along and be like, that worked. Like that just 100% worked. We made a video last week. It was like how to submit or how to turn a corny keg into a ball lock keg. And I knew that video was out there. I've never done it before, but I know how to take the spear out of the keg because I've made kegels. And my biggest fear was that it wouldn't fit into my kegerator, because I looked at like the 5 they sold online and it still got kind of like the Sankey coupler. And I knew that wasn't going to fit in my kegerator. And I've already knocked out every light in my kegerator. I've already just point of reference. If anybody has a kegerator or a Keyser or whatever, if there's lights in there, just take them out now, because you're going to break them if you're putting beer in there. You're not going to break them putting groceries and milk and eggs in there. But if you're trying to pick up, you know, 5 gallon or 6 doles or half barrel stuff and put them in a kegerator, you're going to smash out every light. And that was like my biggest fear. But we pulled that video off based off a comment we got from a guy named Kevin Fiddler, who watches Homebrew for Life. And I was like, that's the perfect Homebrew for Life video. That's the perfect Homebrew for Life video. I could do, I love the Homebrew Challenge. I do love the Homebrew Challenge, but it's like, dude,
Yeah.
you can't, you're making 150 beers in a year. These can't all be phenomenal. I'm not buying it at a certain point. It's a great video.
I agree. Yeah.
Great production. But I'm not saying you're not making the beer. I'm just saying at the end, you just need to be like, at some point, yeah, don't they just all kind of taste like a pale ale? This one kind of tastes like a blonde when it's not supposed to. Like, I don't know.
He did a Saison that was like 10-16, I want to say, like finishing gravity. And that's what like, how did you not mention that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But just the idea of the whole premise is like, hey, I'm going to brew like 150 beers or whatever BJ. How many beers are in?
I apologize. I'm literally about to piss myself. So I'll be right back.
Yeah, take off. But yeah, it's a great channel. You know, he's trying to show you the recipe and yada yada yada. But like, I just can't. I don't know. It's just I don't know. I think there's more of a serious reality when the camera's not on than when the camera is on. That's a good point, Jeffrey Merrill. That's a great point. Need an unbiased judge, not just me and mine. Right. And if you get your friends over, they're all going to say it's good. Unless it's really bad, they'll let you know. But because, you know, you're giving your friends free beer. You're giving your friends free beer. So they're going to say it's great and stuff like that. But if you actually had like a brewer come over, you know, they're still going to kiss your ass and say your beer's good. Unless you like, we're going to make it a point. Like, this is like the #1 judge in Denver. This is like the #1 Great American Beer Fest judge. But I don't know. It's just too subjective for me. What's the margins on betting sports ball? Clint O'Hare, do you have multiple CO2 tanks for multiple keg graders? No, but that's a good question for Clint O'Hare. The thing about CO2 tanks and propane tanks is they're very easy to get. I saw a CO2 tank on Craigslist today for $15. It was a 5-pound one. But there's no reason, like if anybody's ever ran out of propane or ran out of CO2, it sucks. So you should always have that as backup. But to have it on a separate manifold, no. To Clint O'Hare, I just put it on the same one, and it works. And then, no one really messes around with nitro. I'm messing around with nitro right now. It's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. It's expensive. It takes forever. It's just not worth it. I understand like why it was cool in San Diego for a little bit, and now everybody got over it. And it's just not worth it. I don't think people are coming in and being like, yeah, nitro, let me buy like 5 of those. I just don't think it's worth it.
Sorry, Siege.
We're chilling. What were we talking about? Yeah, back to Clint's question though. Always have a backup propane tank and always have a backup CO2 tank. And CO2 tanks are literally $15, $30. And if you already have
where are you getting them?
I'll put. I saw one on Craigslist today.
5 pound?
5 pound, and there's no regulator.
Really?
Well, if you have a regulator, you don't need to buy it with a negative.
No, I don't give a shit. I just want to talk about the tank.
I'll show it to you right now. Check it out.
What?
I'll put it in the chat.
Because here's the thing, like, I'm sure I'm not the only asshole that this has happened to, where like, you look. Oh well, I don't know. So I sometimes
it was in Temecula. It's $15. I'm a lot of things, but I'm not a liar. I'm a fibber.
Oh no,
CO2 tank.
I would never. But yeah, like you have to like recheck all those connections every time you move your CO2 tank, and like sometimes I'll have to take it from my, I hesitate to call it a keezer because really all it is a chest freezer, but so I'll take it out to attach it to my main vessel to like transfer, and like. Then I'll move it back to my freezer, and then next thing I know, the next day it's like empty, cause like I moved it.
Yeah. I look at that every day. Like every day I open up the fridge, I look at my beer, I'm like, is it still at like 1500 psi? Is the quantity of psi still there? Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, right. When you see that meter at 0 and like it's still attached to a beer that you're trying to carb,
that's a bad story
in the world, dude.
That's a bad story. I just made that video on like how to check leaks and stuff like that, and you don't know. My biggest advice when checking a leak is unplug your fridge, because you're gonna hear it first. And if it's a small leak, I swear sometimes like there's just like that leak. Like if you let it go for a year, it's gonna leak out. But when it's 1500 like quantity, the 1500 is like the quantity of like what they put into it. You look at a regulator, they look at how much is coming out and how much is actually in the tank. I think most places fill up. Sorry,
I'm trying to like fucking like adjust my mic. I'm an asshole.
Where do they fill up CO2 tanks at? Probably about 2000 psi, and then you release it at about 10 or 12 psi. Yeah, I'm talking about.
I wouldn't know.
Ryan Carter, I'm talking about the quantity, not what it comes out at. They give you to like at the top. They never fill it all the way up. I don't know how that really works. I thought if I have like a 10-pound tank, like fill it up with all 10 pounds. Gnome Brewing, I did your approach and dedication to the craft. You're having fun, and it shows what it's all about. Cheers. Great discussions tonight. Cheers, Tom Mellon, man. This is going to be my last one. This is going to be my last one, no. But we're doing it. We're 2 hours in. We're over 2 hours in, and this is fun, man. Big shout out to everybody who's here. I'll try to get somebody on tomorrow night.
Sorry.
I think it varies on temperature, CH. I think Jonathan Elliott's exactly right. I think he's 100% right.
All right, here's my sour that I just brewed.
Here we go. Is this the one from Instagram?
Yeah, it's very red.
It looks good.
Look.
Zachary McGregory, on a good day, my local shop gives it for 1000 psi. For what? I guess it wouldn't matter if it's a 5 or a 10 or whatever. It's just like how much pressure is in the tank. That's a good question. I don't understand how that works. My local shop gives them out at 1000 psi. Zachary McCrary. Thanks for the info. Yeah, I was wondering if each keg needed their own.
Nothing. I just thought about nothing. I wanted to kind of talk about, which is like bugged me lately in like the whole homebrewing community. A lot of people, which I understand it because it's like clickbaity. It's trying to get people, to believe in something, I guess. But the whole like, hey, I went from brew day to tasting in fucking 23 minutes. Like that in my opinion, that kind of needs to at least be like explained while you're doing it. Like even if like you're using a fake and like maybe it doesn't create off flavors, off aromas, it doesn't mean that it's like ready to drink once it's carbonated. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it takes some time. Like any beer you brew will change over time. And there's a time where it's prime to drink and there's a time where it's not. And like there's very few beers where it's like, oh, yep, right now is the time to drink it. It's been 2 days since it's been carb. You know what I mean?
I'm with you 100%, and I've been saying this since day one. It's like if I could go back in time, I would legitimately just have a Coors Light poured into a thing. Because like beer, you could bullshit all day. Like food, you can't. Like food, you're like, if it looks good, it's going to taste good. But with beer, it's like, I could just legitimately go down. I mean, you could probably
trick people left and right.
Right. You could go down that with food. Hector Topati, super chat. In case we're too busy drinking and watching football, cheers. Shout out to Hector. He's a brush. He's always been supporting. I'm going to get you guys in the next video. I'm going to give you guys a nice little shout out like Brian does with his Patreons. Thank you, Hector. Thank you, everybody who's here. But you still could lie about food, no? Like you could still like go down to your local chart house and get like, I don't know, surf and turf or whatever. But if I were to do it all over again, I mean, I wouldn't, but if, it depends what kind of person you are. Like, hey, this is like Czech Pilsner Lager or whatever. Just pour Coors Light and do it and like put it in the video and just like.
Yeah.
Hey,
I do agree with you, Jonathan, by the way, but like that's very few beers. Very few.
Depending on the beer, some beers are better than fresh. Some beers are better fresh. Beers better fresh. I would say that's a great question too. It's like some beers you put down. Some beers are like.
Yeah, obviously, like New England IPA comes to the mind, but even then, like some of those beers are gonna be too green. Some of those beers are gonna be too bitter. Like you need to give it some time, and like no beer is like, I've noticed this over the time, but like my last saison, like I drank the last of it yesterday, 2 days ago, so like 2 months of seeing the transition over time, like. Some beers or most beers really get better, like like I said, I'll just say it again.
I disagree. I think some beers get better when they don't have hops involved. I think there's just this certain like freshness that comes with hops.
Yeah. Well, that's the only exception is what Jonathan Elliott said was like, hoppier beers are better fresh. And I agree with that. But like, even like some of the New England IPAs though, like, a week after it's done carving, it's probably not like ready, in my opinion.
Like
I've had even beers from like Foam Brewing where it's like, oh my gosh, like Foam Brewing's amazing. And then you taste the beer and it tastes like green pepper.
Green pepper and acid's the worst shit ever. That's like from, I get that mostly from stouts, from canned stouts when they're past their prime. I get that green pepper and I get that hot sauce acid vibe.
Back off, war child. Seriously.
I haven't had that yet. The hot sauce part.
It's just peppery. I mean, or red peppery. But I know exactly.
Oh, you don't mean spicy?
Like just acidic. Yeah. I mean, sometimes when stouts, because they have to bring the malt down so low, and I just think that it doesn't sit well over time. I guess unless you're putting it in a barrel, or I do not know. Like you can't, okay, going back to freshness, whatever, like you can't really do a New England hazy barrel aged.
No. Oh, no. There's a lot of people that do that too. Well, no, I shouldn't say a lot, but I've seen like
Jacob Kendrick.
IPAs. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Bourbon barrel. Jacob Kendrick, we got a super chat. He's making SpongeBob dance. Shout out to Jacob Kendrick, man. Shout out to all the super chatters. Dude, we still got a pretty good crowd in here right now, man.
Yeah, man.
Clayton Gerard's still here. Yeah, dude. I left to give my son a bath and put him to bed and made me him. Shout out to Clayton, man, being a good dad over here. Hellbrews in the house from Mexico, man. Look alive. Come on down. Hellbrews. I need some Hellbrews content, man. It's been too long. It's
Oh,
been a minute.
Hellbrews. Ah, yeah.
Back
I
off,
haven't
war
seen him in a
child.
while.
Seriously.
Yeah, he's mobbing, dude. He's back. Come here. My beers bet drank over time. Yeast, you got to help us out with the translation on that one. Come on down. Zachary McGregory. From my experience, even doing a pseudo lager with Lutra is still so much better 3 weeks after some people will call it drinkable. Sure.
I agree completely. Yeah. Like I will die on that hill. Like people need to condition their beers more.
Ryan
Don't be in a
Carter.
rush to fucking drink your beer. I'm sorry. Like and also, you know what? A good test of stable, good crafted brewed beer is that it lasts a while. Obviously, there is exceptions. I agree completely with what Jonathan said, but you know, sit on a beer for a while, see how it changes. You know, that's all I'm saying. Like, and there's a drastic like the last time I drank the saison that CH drank earlier, like was 2 weeks before that, and it changed since then. It was already a month and a half old. You know. Anyways,
I got some shit I got to show you off camera now.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully, I can't wait to get off camera so I can smoke a bowl.
How does she take these pictures?
Sorry, YouTube.
It's too good. All right, we're back. Now we're ready. All right, what are we talking about? Taco Bell or KFC? Taco Bell. One more beer. We can do one more. We can do two more. We can do 10 more. I have nothing to do tomorrow except edit for 6 hours and run with Donnie. Get over here.
Like I said, man, the minute you say, all right, we're done, Gnome, I'm like, all right, okay.
No, but once it gets over 2 hours, we start getting into like the deep end. It's like the dark waters. Like
let's fucking enter the Mordor, man.
All right, man. Here we go, man. We're talking about Gavin Newsom and the Homebrew Challenge. Today we're gonna do Gavin Newsom collab with the Homebrew Challenge. Wow. No, I'm kidding. Open that torpedo. Do you want to see my beer? Do you want me to go crack one of my? Should I try to drink a beer? Should I try to drink one of my bacon maple
do
beers?
It, man. I'll wait. I'll keep chat occupied.
All right, I'll be right back.
Occupied here. I don't know what torpedo means though, but I'm a little scared actually. Yeast and the Beast, you still there, bro? Do it. I agree. Yeah, see when like, you know, things come to a lull, what's your take on citric acid in the mesh? I've never done that ever. I just came to the realization that, well, not the realization. I know that people lower the pH post or like during the boil for New England IPAs. It's not something I've felt that I need to do. Although your point has to do with shelf stability, which is important as well. I would like kind of look at what Gina says about that. They're the ones that talk about that very often. It's just I have no experience. I'm not gonna like pretend that I do. I have no fucking clue how citric acid impacts shelf stability. I do apologize. In terms of the mash or the boil or the fermentation, I have no idea, but. Al-Yaz Mohammed, dude, this sour is fucking delicious. Like it really is. Which this is another thing I thought of mentioning, which I wish CH was here. But so Philly sour can like handle ridiculous amounts of temperature. So I actually set this beer at 68 degrees starting temperature, which is the last time I used this yeast. Unfortunately, I forgot to turn my glycol chiller back on. So the next day it went up to fucking 86 degrees.
I'm gonna be holding down.
So rather than like, you know, all right, well let me crash it back down to what my intended temperature was. I was like, all right, let me just keep it at 86, which 86 for like untested yeast is kind of like, you know, you're taking some chances. Especially since you're gonna age it or you're gonna re-ferment it rather on fruit. So like if there's any fusel alcohols, like you're gonna notice it. Like even like, which I did taste this. Sorry if I'm going off like on different tangents, but I did taste this and smell this before I aged it on fruits, and I didn't detect that at all. But yeah, Jonathan. So I guess my main point is that actually Philly sour yeast can really take a beating. Like you can really push that in terms of temperature. Like don't be afraid at all. Like which I didn't know that. Like, the last time I used this, I was like, oh, we'll do 68. It's safe. A lot of my fermentations are 68 to start, so I can actually get a feel of what the yeast can do, and then I'll make alterations based on that. And now I know, all right, Philly sour, if you want like 78, 80, fucking do it. Who cares? It's gonna be just fine. And then because like, again, the re-fermentation on with fruit, like at what point are you adding fruits is a real, definitely a real fruit. To go back on what CH was talking about with the extract, I will never use extract. I will always try to use real ingredients. That's just like what I gravitate towards. I like organic foods. Um, at what? How long does a Philly sour beer take?
Hey, new rule. We're coming up with a new
Yep.
rule tonight. Before you throw a batch of beer out, you have to at least drink 1 pint.
Oh, of course. Shit, I drink a pint before it's even carb.
Here it is, man. You see it? It already settled out when I took a pee, but it's a good looking beer. It looks like a Guinness. I know 3 things that went wrong with it. I fermented too hot. I forgot about it for 4 hours. I put too much chocolate malt in it. I was pissed off the way the color wasn't looking for the brown, so I just rage quit and put in another pound of chocolate malt. And then most importantly, I put in really shitty extract. But here we go.
Man, I'm gonna ask, like, so the
Smells
you
good.
you said you added chocolate malt after the fact, like you already had chocolate malt in there, but then you added more.
Yeah, I was Vorloffing, and the color was like still looking like way too light of an amber, like not even an
Like
amber.
a mash out edition.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
kind of a shitty brewer in that regard. I'm just like, give it more color.
Dude, well, top mashing is like stouts, dark beers. That's when you would like utilize that technique. So that's why I asked what the way I did. Like I'm just curious.
No, and dude, it looks not bad. The top of it looks like a gorgeous nitro beer you'd find in an Irish pub. It might kick after a little bit of time. I don't think it's going to.
It does look nice.
It does look nice. It just, the off flavors make it taste like eggnoggy, which isn't that big of a problem for this style of beer. If you had that for like a fucking Pilsner or an IPA. And then the extract just makes, there's no bacon, there's no maple. It just makes it taste roasty. So if you were going to go for eggnog, woof. If you were going to go for, it was a 1050 OG, 1012 final gravity. Like everything was good on like what is that? Like a 5% beer?
Yeah, I was gonna say ask. Yes, I was right around 5, maybe depending, but a little bit above, a little bit below.
But like, here's the problem. Here's the good and the bad with where we're at in home brewing, as with anybody in here. If you had this and this was your first beer that you brewed, you would be like, fuck yeah, we're drinking this. But It's only fair and it's only natural that like once you brew a lot and you are passionate about brewing, you're going to get a little bit snobby, and that's just how it works because you're trying to get better and better stuff.
Well, also ego is coming into play, and that's a really fucking tough challenger. You gotta fight ego every step of the way, in my opinion.
Maybe
You
not
really do.
sure ego, but also like maybe just reality of like, hey, like this is
Well, that's the balance of ego is reality, in my opinion. Like,
okay. Yeah. No, I like
Yeah.
that. No, I like that a lot. And I wish you could try this so fucking bad. I wish everybody in here could try this. And it's like, it's kind of there. Dude, the nose is fine, man. And again, like back in the day, I'd probably lie and be like, this is such a good video. Follow this recipe. Like buy this Walden Farms extract. But I'm not. I'm not going to. And it's not Nitro's fault. It's not Northern Brewer's fault. It's nobody's fault but mine. I let it ferment too hot. We're talking about stuck fermentation, and more often than not, the best way to not have stuck fermentation is to hydrate your yeast or do a yeast starter. But I
also oxygenate.
oxygenate, you can do that, but when I go from kettle to ferment, I splash so much, like it's already there.
Yeah.
Unless I'm
I've
doing
done that in the drive home with my fucking saison. Normally, I like I would put it well, the video hasn't released yet, but like I
this
talk
isn't
about.
bad. Sorry, what?
I would put it in an anvil bucket and like literally, seatbelt buckle it in my car and drive it
Go
home.
off-roading.
That's enough.
Yeah.
That is enough.
Yeah.
You don't need to fucking add oxygen at that point.
No. And to be honest with you, like when commercial breweries, they're doing they're doing closed transfers and stuff like that, so they have to hit oxygen as it comes through the plate chiller and all that stuff. But like for most commercial breweries, like one of the advantages we have, because most people are such like sloppy home brewers, is like you don't really need to add oxygen unless you're going for like that 8% or up vibe. But that obviously will make it's not going to make it's not going to make the yeast slow down. If anything, it's going to make it speed up. And,
that's what I mean. Yeah, it's gonna make it happy.
Absolutely.
It's gonna,
yeast loves oxygen.
It's gonna like kick it off, basically.
Yeah.
It's gonna like create an environment that's very comfortable for the yeast, so it's gonna like thrive. And that also will actually technically reduce any potential off flavors and aromas. So it's just good practice, in my opinion. Like that's why you comment like one of my very early videos. Like I don't know why he's doing that, but like it's just I try to take all those little extra steps to. And if you don't have those capabilities, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. But if you do have that capability, then why not?
Right.
That's my approach.
And 2 things. You're absolutely right. 3 things. Ryan Carter wants to know. And number 3, it's not expensive. Get one of those little like tanks, and all you need to do. I don't know what you're talking about, ppm or whatever. I just put it down there for like 20 seconds, like Mississippi 20. As soon as I see
I don't do oxygen in ppm. That's impossible. Like I don't have those like meters or anything.
No,
like that.
I just eyeball it, and as soon as I see it like bubble from the top, I'm like, okay, we're good. Let's pitch the yeast.
I go 1,000.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's good.
MISSI PPI.
Although I will say this, if I'm doing a Belgian beer, I half it because I want it to be like kind of like stressed slightly, and I've mentioned that in a couple of my videos.
I agree with that. And what Jonathan Elliott just said right here sums up every home brewer that withstood the temptation of quitting 3 times. That's what is exactly what happens.
Yeah.
You become your own worst critic. And it's a good thing and it's a bad thing, because I've said this before, but like I like my beer better than my food. Like if I make the best spaghetti ever on a first date, or a ramen noodle night, with soft boiled eggs or whatever, I don't enjoy it because I made it. There's like the psychology of like you just don't do it. And then I'll hang out with my grandfather and he'll microwave some fucking breakfast jack from Taco Bell, and I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever had in my entire life. Because for some reason, because I didn't touch it, I had nothing to do with it. And it's like the comfort of like your grandfather or like a loved one. And it's like the best food you've ever had. But if I try to make like this ribeye, sous vide, bone in, all I do is I pick it apart. I know it's delicious, but I'm just thinking like, if I say it's the best thing I've ever had, I lose, because it's not. And you're not going for positives. You're going for flaws when you do it. You know what I mean?
It's weird because you can make the best beer ever, but you put the work in, but you can't fully appreciate it. But when you see other people appreciate it, like seemingly they genuinely love it. That's what is like, oh, okay,
because
cool.
They're going for positives.
You have to live it through like their reaction.
Almost. But no, they're going for positives. They want it to taste like steak. They want it to be seared at medium rare. If you make it, you're like, why was that not the best thing I've ever had? And that's the ongoing fuckery. Like which is beer. Which is kind of why I try to cut people some slack, or myself some slack. Like, if it tastes like a $7 IPA, leave it at that. But if you, as a brewer, you're like, why did I put that 2 extra hops into it? What did that 2 extra weeks do? What did that 5 extra dry hop bag do? Like, did that do anything? Then you're thinking about that. But as a consumer, you're not. You're just like, hey, it tastes like a $7.
It's a new experience. You have nothing to do with the work that got put into it, like the ingredients. Like you're literally, oh shit, what is this? You opening up a mysterious package and then you're taking a sip.
Right.
I wish I was able to experience my beers that way, because that's the goal. That is like, not the goal. You can't achieve it. It will never happen.
Back off,
But
war child, seriously.
if it could, that would be the ultimate. Like oh shit, what is this? And like in an alternate reality, it's you that fucking brew it, and like you're the person now drinking it. But it just it doesn't work that way, unfortunately. So that's why I said like we live kind of vicariously through the people that taste our beers that we give it to. If that makes any sense.
It does make sense, but here's the problem with that. So, what up, Mark? What up, Marco Moderno? Shout out to him. He was a super chatter last week. Thanks for the love. But, okay, what you just said, it's like who you give the beer to can completely depend, right? Why is there fucking fruit flies in my room?
Oh, I got them in my brew room. It sucks.
You got fruit flies in there? Okay, but here's the problem. Okay, so Jonathan Elliott is saying bring him to a bottle shop. They're going to give you an honest opinion. I believe with that. I believe in that, and I don't believe in that. And I believe in what you said, and I also don't believe in that. It's impossible to give your beer to a phenomenal beer judge, because me and my friends at breweries, and everywhere we go, we're like, yeah, it's good beer, whatever. And then as soon as they leave, we're like, dude, their new IPA was like shit. Like this Kiwi New Zealand IPA that they're coming out with. Like, I don't know. I couldn't even drink it, man. But we would never be able to say that to their face. We would never. And from the bottle shop thing, what Jonathan Elliott's saying, if you're going into a place spending money, no customer or assistant bar managers can be like, oh, your beer sucks. And like Peter from Genius said that a ton of times. He's like, people come in all the time. They're like, hey, Peter, like, hey, I don't even know if I think Peter's a trusty beer source. I would think he knows what he's talking about. The same way I would think somebody knew that me or you or anybody in this chat was talking about. But at the end of the day, like, Peter could just not like this motherfucker, this annoying kid that comes in and asks questions every day. He's like, hey, how do you like my, Centennial Pale Ale? And you're just like, fuck you, kid. Just because you never want him to show back up again. It's like that. It's so hard to get a real feedback on how good your beer actually is unless you probably go to GABF. And does GABF even do home brewers, or is it all commercial breweries? Is there a?
It's all it's commercial. Like
it's
that,
all commercial?
You're basically competing for medals at that point.
Which is all Yeast in the Breeze. CHU or the Barrage Lord. Shout out to Yeast in the Bras. Shout out to Gnome, who's here right now. Gnome, I want you, Yeast in the Beast, I want you to have this beer right now. I want you to have this beer.
I just want to say again, like before this ends, man, thank you so much for having me, man. I do really appreciate this.
I'm having a great time, Barrage.
Yeah, me as well, for sure. The other 2 times on, I was like very nervous, and I was nervous about this too, but like, I don't know. I just approached it with like, hey, whatever happens, happens. And like, I don't know.
No.
I'm enjoying myself.
I think I'm speaking for everybody in the chat. You have nothing to worry about unless Jonathan Elliott finds you offensive. All right, you got a question from Tom Ellen. Wait, 2 questions. Jonathan Elliott, I hope humanity isn't like that. I think somebody wrote fuck metals. I'm with you on that, and I don't think metals really mean shit unless it's like IPA or whatever. Those 2 kind of carry weight.
Yeah.
Tom Mellon, to probably anybody here. Anybody use Cosmic Punch from Omega?
No.
Either have I. It sounds brand new.
Actually, I've never used Omega Yeast. I know you love their like branding, but
I love their
honestly,
branding. Right.
Yeah, and it is it's catchy for sure. Like they're killing it, but
it reminds me of Calvin and Hobbes.
The comic?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't even. I have no idea. I don't even know what the hell that looks. I remember the name, but
Mardueno Homebrew. We got a super chat. We got a. Cheers, brother. Cheers, to Mardueno Homebrew.
See, Jonathan, Jonathan, that's kind of like my main. Like I'm actually gonna enter. Well, I was sort of motivated by
fruit flies coming out of my fucking face, my beard.
Oh shit.
Clayton Gerard, much love, Braj. Shout out to Mardueno Homebrew and Clayton Gerard, man. Braj life.
I feel like such an ass, but there was a brew tuber that talked to me about like
Brew Cabin.
If you really, no, not Brew Cabin.
Back off, child, seriously.
I take everything literal. So.
I went there. He said,
Yeah, you know, I gotta be honest. That the fucking HAL 2000 or the fuck it was that video that he killed. Like his production is
Brew
top
Cabin?
notch. Yeah,
that video was phenomenal.
it really you.
That was phenomenal.
Anyone that says otherwise is literally lying.
Just a hater.
Like,
Wow.
yeah,
No.
like, that like even if like you jokingly like made fun of him for like his like apparent, that dude is killing it. Like you have to be honest.
Dude, he rips. No, I'm a big
Yeah.
fan of Brew Cabin. I really am, man.
Yep.
I got to get him back on, man. We got to squash our beef.
Yeah, for sure.
It's all about beer. It's not about. I think Trevor came over that night and he gave me a 12-ounce. That was when Trevor was distilling, and I was taking like shots and stuff, and we were on for like 4 hours. Something I'm never gonna do ever again. Never again. And, yeah, and we were just a little bit too much passive aggressive going one way, and at the end of the day, I probably fucking blew it because I always blow it, and I was probably in the wrong. And I gotta hit that dude up, man, because he's got really good content, and
For sure.
it's a beer community, man. We're small. Like, there's no reason for like dumb shit. All right, Ryan Carter's out of here. Planning on using it with my next hazy. Yeah, you know what's crazy, Gnome, is I'm drinking this beer right now. It's growing on me, but that's the mind fuck about shit beer is you just keep drinking it and you unnotice it. CH got plastered and Margin Cabin likes money. CH, you were not in the wrong. I was in the thank you, Jonathan Elliott, but I was in the wrong for it to go 4 hours.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to like I don't know exactly what Jonathan means, but I agree. And you haven't finished your sentence. You got credit for placing. I know what you mean. I'm
What are we
sorry,
talking about?
but if you like elaborate on that, I'll answer. My apologies.
You talking to me or are you talking to somebody in the chat?
No, yeah, Jonathan Elliott, do with the epic beard.
Jonathan Elliott's got a killer beard.
Yeah, he does.
I can answer this question really fast. DeQuainius Brew, what's in the future for Homebrew Frife looking? 400 videos or bust. That's Meso's in the house. I want to do 400 videos on this channel. I've quit everything in my whole life. I've quit sports teams.
Meso,
I've
man.
quit jobs.
How's your leg doing, bro? Meso like got fucking fucked up a couple of months ago. He like ditched his bike and like got all
I saw
wrecked.
that. I think he
Yeah.
posted a video about that. Meso, hope you're well,
He did.
Braj. Shark Homebrewing. We got some fresh blood in the house tonight. Shout out to Shark Homebrewing, man. Cheers from San Diego, and then the bottom left, it's cheers from Rhode Island. Zachary McCurry. Hey, CH, is it better to support you through buying merch or through super chats? Zachary, it's better just to have you right here, man. All that matters is you're right here. That's what matters. Is that we're talking beer, we're hanging out, we're drinking beer with good people, and that's it, man. But thanks for commenting and giving us your time, Braj.
Wow.
NBCs with Masso should be a thing. Are we doing it? Okay. Should I just keep drinking my
Sorry.
bacon maple shit fuck fish
Do it, man.
fish fertilizer beer?
Fish food beer.
So what can it do? What does shitty beer do? It's gonna make your garden grow. It's gonna make you can distill it, and it could also
Your neighbors hate you.
your neighbor's gonna hate you because you're gonna have the best garden. You're gonna have a better garden than Uncle Wilson or Mr. Wilson from the Dennis the Menace movie, and you could also turn it into vinegar. So we hear.
Wow.
Brew Cabin is a try too hard. I'm a try too hard. I try way too hard.
Back off, war child, seriously.
You should try too hard. Everybody should try too hard. Everyone should try hard.
Back off, war child, seriously.
Jonathan,
Yeah, I agree with you, Clayton.
what are we talking
I
about?
remember drinking IPAs and thinking it like literally tasted like the exhaust of like a lawnmower. Like I thought like literally like grass shards were being like fucking shot into my mouth.
Like you said the F word, your mom's putting a bar of soap down your mouth. You're just like, dude, this is
Dude.
just so...
It was almost like painful. Like I paid for this.
Hey,
I'm not really sure.
Hey, Jake-
I'm not sure why, but
Jacob Fish just coined it. Fish blood fertilizer IPA. Shout out to Jacob Fish, man. Shout out to Jacob Fish. And you know what's funny about that? Is that that's probably going to be a fucking beer name. Like, we're saying it right now as a joke, but like that's probably going to be a thing in 5 years, and someone's going to make a ton of money off that. Jacob,
Well, they're all taken.
you heard it here from Jacob Fish first. Fish Blood Fertilizer IPA.
Well, you know, next video, you know, you might see me doing that beer. Just saying.
You're gonna put it in the mash, or at least take. Don't even do the fish blood. You could just take fish fertilizer. Just take it in pill form, put it in your mash, and see if it's like the ultimate thing that makes the yeast the most happiest thing ever. Insta beer.
I apologize, but I have to take a piss so bad again. Where I can't.
Why are you apologizing? All right, go pee.
That's me.
Ron Barnes, have you ever been out to White Labs to try out all the different brews with different yeasts? I love going to White Labs, Ron Barnes. And White Labs, okay, so there's White Labs in San Diego and in Asheville, North Carolina. And I go to the one in San Diego at Miramar. And it's rad because they make great beer, but they only keep it there. And I remember I was talking to their bartender, their main beer tender, their manager, and I went in there and I was, I think it was when like Kvike first came out. And I think the first Kvike I did was White Labs, 518 or something. And I was talking to their bar guy, and it's like this little, it's a great tasting room when you're in there, but when you show up, you're like, there's a million auto mechanic places around, very blue collar, like this doesn't feel too homey. And then you get into White Labs, you're like, oh, okay, cool. Okay. And you get in there and like they've got the lab right there. You can look through the window. It looks like the lab from Jurassic Park. You're just looking at it. And then they've got the bar over here. They've got the menu up here, all the merch over here. And Zach and me McCrary. Cheers, Braj. It's not much, but thanks for putting out awesome content for us. Thank you, Zach. Much appreciated, Braj. You are the man. Thank you, Zach McCrary. SpongeBob's dancing tonight. But I was talking to the barkeep, and I was like, hey, like, why don't you guys get your beer in distribution? And he just, like, stopped and looked at me. He's like, and compete with our thousands of vendors in San Diego? We sell everybody our yeast. Why would we compete with them? And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm a fucking idiot. Like, I am a stupid motherfucking idiot. And I got it. And this was like when White Labs had like the monopoly on it. Like Omega was kind of there. I never really knew about like Y yeast. There was a really good time when White Labs was like the only yeast that mattered. Like the creme de la creme. Do you remember that? Was that ever a thing? Well, you have it down in Ashland, right? Asheville. No?
Asheville. What are you talking
right,
about?
but you have a White Labs in North Carolina, so that means you have it on the East Coast. Do you remember like 4 or 5 years ago when it was like there was all that mattered was White Labs?
What? Well, so here's the thing. I've had some bad experiences with White Labs yeast myself, and didn't think anything of it, and moved on to another yeast. Okay. And then like years later, like this is like early on in my brewing career, or not career, but you know what I mean. And then later, I discovered a lot of fucking pro breweries have like pretty much like just called them off. Like, nah, we're not dealing with them anymore. So I don't know. I don't really like my own experiences were bad, and then I see pro breweries having bad experiences as well. Like I'm very reluctant to buy their little fucking mini like slim vial looking pouches. To be honest,
I've never had a bad experience. That's why we're here. Yeah, there's no politics.
I love Y yeast. If I'm being honest, Y yeast is the shit in my opinion. Like I've never had a bad experience with Y yeast.
Y yeast. I'm struggling to drink this right now, but that's what makes us rad is that not all of our stories are the same. You know, it's super rad to be different.
Yeah. Yep. Back off, absolutely. That's what makes beer different. Like I could hear what I love telling people that, like I said, I try to introduce to brewing. Is the fascination that I get from telling them that, like, okay, like I tell you the recipe, like this is exactly the ingredients. I'll even give you the fucking grain, you know, here's the temperature, you know, you're going to end up with a different beer than I will make.
Right.
And that's the fascination, like initially that I got from brewing is it comes down to a combination of things. process, technique, equipment,
Research.
love, research, knowledge,
Cutting corners, not cutting corners, taking the long way home.
everything, literally everything comes into play. Literally everything. And that's why different breweries, even though they're like made like, literally sometimes next door from each other, produce different beer. Because all that shit is heavy. Like that makes an impact. Like even like how you initially started like brewing beer, now you're professional, sure. But like I would assume like your upbringing like influences in some way, like
Fleischmann's. I think that's the bread yeast. Yeast is being
bread
funny,
yeast, yeah, that's like fucking supermarket yeast.
That yeast works good as long as you put a ton of yeast nutrient in there, which is fish blood. Put a bunch
Makes
of
sense,
nitrogen
yeah.
in there. Yeah, just a shot of fish blood. Yeah.
100 millimeters of salmon blood with. I'll shut up.
Wait, what
I'm
happened?
sorry.
Mr. BRC, NBC, CH, what happened to your guest from Maryland that you announced last Thursday? Or were you thinking of Gnome? I said it wrong. I said you lived in Maryland. This is the guest. I'm all caught up and I've got it written down, and I'll let you guys know. We've got Apartment Steve next Wednesday, and then I'm trying to get Jorge Castro on here. I think he's probably passed out. I like to do this Wednesdays and Thursdays. Mandatory fish blood chug. I like that. I like that a lot. You guys want to keep this going? Should we keep this? Here's your why.
Like I said,
all right.
Until you kick me out, I'm here.
I'm supposed to run with Donnie at 7 a.m. It's not gonna happen. It's only 8:42 my time. We're coming up on 3 hours. We're chilling though, man. Ty Sailor, what's up, man? Grab another beer. Do you want to get one or should I get one? I'm gonna keep drinking my beer.
Let's both do it. Oh yeah, do it.
How's
the? I have a question actually. So how like the smoky aspect of that extract? How does that come across in the flavor? I forgot the aroma. Like actually, when you taste the beer, like do you taste that at all?
Like I said, like even before I poured it into I put it in at flame out, like when I was whirlpooling. And when I smelt it, I was like, this doesn't smell like maple or bacon. This smells like maybe it's just old. Maybe it expired. I bought it off a weird third-party website, or it wasn't Amazon Prime or anything. And I smelled it. I was like, this doesn't check out. But like maybe it's different when it goes in there. And I went off like one thing I read on the internet. Like I was getting lazy or cocky. Same difference. And it smells like it now, but there's still off flavors from the yeast fermenting too high. And it's just got that like hint of like eggnog that I talked about earlier that I can't get out of my brain. But it happens.
Now, what's your like view on artificial flavors, like natural extracts, like that sort of thing? Like, do you embrace them? Are you like, if you had a choice, would you like avoid them?
As a home brewer, I can't do. Well, that's the thing, because like extract is so weird because
It's readily available.
It's readily available, and like none of it's kind of withstood the test of time. And no one really knows.
Yeah.
There's not like a White Labs extract. There's not like an Omega extract. There's not like. It's always like some weird thing that's like. And the thing about extract, I've noticed, it works good for citrus, but it doesn't work good for other things. Like if you're trying to do grapefruit or lime or lemon, you're fine. But if you're just like, hey, like cotton candy popcorn extract, you're like, it's probably all going to taste like this. It's all probably the same fucking thing. It's like a little bit of smoky stuff. Extract works fine, and that's why you can taste beers. You're like, hey, that beer was like, hey, Tony Hop's beer was grapefruit extract or grapefruit IPA. You're like, I taste the extract. This tastes like a melted Slurpee, like no questions asked. Which sucks because I'm never going to buy that beer ever again. I mean, I don't know if it sucks. It sucks for them because they just lost a customer, and I'm talking about it on a live stream right now. But then there's companies like Booze Brothers and Battle Mage that never fuck with extract. Everything is real. Like you go over there, they are they are like juicing watermelons. They are like juicing everything. Jalapenos. They are juicing like.
That's why I do it myself. That's why I asked. Actually, I was curious. I refuse to use extract, natural flavors, even like.
Sure, but you
I
can
just,
only do that on a small scale. Like Stone could never have a team of just juicing. You have
yeah.
to be like a small system that does probably 3,000 or 4,000 barrels a year. 3,000 or 4,000 barrels. Anything more than that, you have to cut corners. You have investors that are like, we're paying all these guys
Yeah.
to juice fucking pineapple all day. It's like, no, we just got to get like the Martinelli's extract vibe and yada yada yada, and that's ultimately ends up what happening when you get too big. There's no big brewery that's juicing. I promise you that.
Yeah.
Nobody.
One of the breaks you took, I mentioned that where it's like I asked, I don't know exactly how I worded it, but like I asked like what people thought about like you know artificial flavors. But yeah, I refuse personally to use those. Like I want real fruit, I want real flavor, I want real vanilla beans, I want like, and if obviously it creates problems, obviously, like you have to take extra steps to make sure you're not like fucking up your whole batch. But I would rather do that than add artificial like fake flavors. Like getting peanut butter from a little like vial is just not the same.
No, it's not.
Like you're
It's,
not going to get that same thing.
no,
Like,
you're
no
100%
matter
right.
what the flavor is. Yeah.
And I'm going to answer Jonathan Elliott's question really fast. Like Jonathan saying they all juice, but they also had extract to my flavor, to my knowledge. I can't speak for everybody, but like when we had the watermelon tahini from Booze Brothers, it's a ultimately a goza or a kettle sour. It is tahini. They have big things of tahini back there, and they have like 500 watermelons. There's 100% zero extract in that watermelon tahini goza, and it works because it's Booze Brothers. Booze Brothers is like big in North County, but like the way they sell that beer is it sells out like fast. But if it had to go to like every 50 state, they probably couldn't do that anymore. They couldn't do that anymore.
Another problem with that beer in particular, watermelon is literally mostly water.
It's 90% water.
Yeah. So, and also watermelon only really works, in my opinion, in like lower ABV beers. So it's really hard to get that flavor incorporated into that. Like, and
That's
also you have to like sell it really quick. Like you have to like buy it, and like you don't want to make a big batch. Obviously, you know. A lot of those different factors come into play, and that's why I don't even fuck with watermelon. I'm just like, I'm good.
That's a good point, because as soon as somebody goes to watermelon IPA or watermelon IPA, it's a completely extract taste. Like it's about here how you said it's got to be low alcohol by volume beers. As soon as like watermelon El Dorado from Ballast Point to me was like, I'll just go to 7-Eleven and buy a Jolly Rancher and take a shot of vodka. Like those were ridiculous. But back in the day, like 6 years ago, they could be like, you put Ballast Point on it and it would sell, because people were like, no, like this tastes like fucking 99-cent store, like cheap thrill alcohol. This is not San Diego's like premier brewery stuff. This is whack. Ballast Point did a watermelon IPA at Shark. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, El Dorado.
Worst beer I've ever had.
Dorado something.
Yeah, and there was
Watermelon Dorado.
Watermelon Dorado.
Like
it was all sugar. It was like 10% or 11%, and it was all. There was nothing to do with IPA about it at all, and they just slapped IPA on it. That's
or real fruit flavor.
Yeah,
everything about it was artificial.
All right, I'm going for the keg rate. I'll be right back. Hold it down.
Yeah. All right, I'll try my best. Anybody got some questions? I do actually like that beer, Medicine. It is like you have to find that shit the minute it gets on the shelf though. Like if you drink that shit like a month after, excuse me, it got released, that watermelon beer, like the Hell or High watermelon, ugh, no bueno. Favorite band or song right now? Oh, Zach. Yeah, well, we're both into metal, so that's really hard. I would say Arcspire's newest song, Golden Mount. What the fuck it's called? Oh, like whatever it is, like that shit. God damn! Like I just learned. I like went through like a 3-month binge of like trying to like sweet pick, and I got pretty good at it. But like when I saw that video, I'm like, all right, okay, I don't know shit. Golden Mouth of Ruin. There you go, bro. Hell yeah, dude. Ah, they're so amazing. That band is fucking phenomenal. Like that, they are like tech metal perfected, in my opinion. Like they're killing it. Like it's the perfect blend of like um complex musicianship within like individual instrumentation. Like the drummer's amazing. The bassist is fucking like doing sweet picking with like fuck or sweet tapping, I guess. Just amazing. I'll shut the fuck up because you already know. Since you are a sour fan, have you ever had raw out of order? No. I would love to. Those Midwest sours really. I love them. Like Urban Artifact. I've had a couple of those. I don't know if I would call those like a Midwest sour, but really good beers. And I like how like different areas of America have like their own little kind of like brewing hubs where like they're known for a certain thing. Obviously, we have the New England IPA, the hazy, and then you have like the Midwest Sour, the West Coast IPA. Like
It's
that's what's
cascading.
cool.
Can't really see
Sorry?
it from here, but it's cascading. The nitro system
Cascading?
works great, man. Anybody who wants the nitro system, hold on, sorry. Anybody who wants the nitro system from Northern Brewer, it works out well.
Yeah, it looks good. I see the brown at the top and the black during the like or towards the bottom, right?
Yeah, it kind of happened a little bit when I was kind of walking in here, but it's still kind of going.
Yeah.
But the
Don't
bummer
mind-
about
don't mind
nitro,
me.
nitro takes way longer than CO2.
Yeah, no, I've never gotten into that. Like, actually, so here's another thing which I didn't mention earlier. But when I bottled those beers, I don't have a CO2 manifold, and I do now, but like during the bottling process, I didn't have that. So, I was worried about like the actual purging.
Yeah.
So as I was like bottling, I think it was like 8 to 10 bottles. The flow rate actually like decreased over time, so
Okay.
that created problems. That's why I actually tried to send you the ones that were in the middle.
Hey, they were delicious, man.
Yeah. Oh, thank
Those
you,
are
man. I
killer,
appreciate
man.
it.
Thank you, Braj. Are we still going? We got one more beer left. We got 10 more beers left in us.
Dude, I'm here until you kick me out, man. I'm telling you, dude.
I'm here till I pass out, face first in the mud. Gnome looks
You'll
so
pass
different.
out first.
Gnome looks different without his beard. All right, hey, shout out to everybody, man. Gnome got some subscribers tonight. I'm creeping on that right now. Thank you guys.
Yeah, I appreciate it so much, man.
Much love to all you guys. What happened here?
The Joe Rogan of fucking home brewing.
The Joe Rogan of homebrewing. We're right here. Look alive. Look no further. Let's pull it up right now. What is Gnome's channel at? 214, man. That's a lot of love, man. That's a lot of love.
Yeah, dude, that's me. Like I've said before, I don't really care about the whole views, but it does feel nice that like
I have
come
to.
on here and people yeah, it's awesome, man. It really is.
No, it's always fun, and like at the end of the day, like sometimes I wake up. Hold on, I'm gonna repeat Tom Mellon's quote really fast. I'm rolling sober tonight, but tempted to grab one. Don't do it, man. Or do it.
No, do it.
Yeah, do it.
Do it.
No, and sometimes I wake up and I'm just like, I have no idea we're doing the happy hour night. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. People are going to think I'm like bullshit. I'm a fraud. I'm a loser. But like, as soon as I fire up, it's like it's fine. It's like it's the chat. It's the guest. It's like
let me bounce off that, okay? Because when you invited me on 2 weeks ago when I sent you the beer, I was very like literally. I was like, oh shit! I almost canceled like the day after. I was like,
Really?
oh shit! I was like thinking of ways to like fucking get out of it, but like
You're a YouTuber.
Back off, war child,
yeah, but I'm not.
seriously.
I'm really not.
Well,
Like this is.
there's
it's
footage
like,
of you being on the internet, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I agree with you, but like, you've known, like, because I've been very open about, like, this shit's fucking hard for me. Dude, I was pacing the fucking floor, like, thinking about this shit for hours before I come on.
Really?
Like, I get nervous as fuck all the time,
That's like me when I was supposed to fight somebody in junior high school. I hated it.
dude.
But whatever.
But you know
sorry.
what? It's about the growth. That's why, like, it's about challenging yourself. That's like, yeah, I'm uncomfortable. Like now I'm I've had a couple of beers, of course, so like I'm more open to it. But like that's what it's all about. It's like whether it's like if you're not on like social like platform like this, it doesn't matter. It's about challenging yourself. Whether it's like trying new ingredients, whether it's like trying a new fucking yeast, whether it's trying a new technique. That's what it's about. Like yeah, it's all uncomfortable, but
Well, Ron
once you
Barnes
get
is
over
telling
that,
you a good compliment. He's like he could tell the nerves haven't shown in you at all. Like I'm with Ron
said that?
Barnes. Ron Barnes. I couldn't tell at all that this was an uncomfortable situation for
and
you.
you said that last time, and I appreciate that. But dude, I can't like. I mean, all I can say is that it's real. That's all I can say. Like,
Well, if you're afraid
try
of
my
roller
best.
coasters, bro, if you're afraid of roller coasters, go on roller coasters. If you're afraid of getting up on stage, and we've talked about this, you're in a band, and
Exactly,
having
yeah.
some situations in that regard.
Yep.
It's Clayton Gerard. It's just love, man. You're building a community and likable. That's pretty important. That's my hardest
Right.
part
Yep.
of my channel, just acting natural. Yeah, and at the end of the day, like hey man, you're 5 YouTube videos in, like I'm 200
Gonna be
videos
6.
in. Gonna be 6. I'm with Rob Barnes too, but like my first videos in, I was like, "Hi, how are you? Welcome to Homebrew for Life. Come on down." I just didn't know, but like you just know that sense.
So here's the thing. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go
My
ahead.
bad.
No.
I'm fully aware of like your what you're saying, but like it's just so hard. It's the thing is like I want this, but it's also like there's a part of me saying like, oh shit, like this means like you're gonna be like, literally like I said, pacing around
Back
for an
off,
hour.
child,
Like,
seriously.
dude, man, like I wish it was as easy as like some people I've seen on here where it's like, oh shit, I'm on now. Let me just sit down in my chair and like do an interview. For me, it doesn't come that easy. It's very like I have to prepare, like I have to like mentally, literally prepare. And even then, like I know I'm gonna say dumb shit.
You're
which I
not
say
saying dumb shit at all.
all the time. Yeah, but in
Not
like
as
my
dumb
own
as
head,
the
I
shit
do.
that I say. Well, yeah, but we all are our worst critic.
Fair
Nobody
enough,
says
yeah.
dumber shit than me. I just say so much dumb shit people expect it. So that's why I get away with it.
Right. Well, here's the thing too. Like I've already mentioned this before, so I don't want to be a repeating record. Like I
But
don't want
if
to like.
we feel
fucking
like we
mention
know
this-
each other, but we feel like we know each
Yeah.
other. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't want to
And
mention this every time I fucking come on.
No, I like that.
Believe me.
No. And I appreciate that. That's a
But-
compliment.
Dude, like
Jonathan
I said,
Elliott.
I love coming on. This is amazing. Like
It's fun, right?
I don't even think I like belong on here, but I'm on here, so whatever it is, what it is.
Okay, but here's where it doesn't make sense to me. Okay, if you're in a band and you go up on stage, you would feel like this would be nothing. This isn't a live audience. We're live, but we're not live. Like isn't this a walk in the park compared to actually being on a stage where like 100 or 200 people are looking at you?
No, because I fucked up there as well.
Yeah, but it's way different. Like if I did stand-up comedy, I'd be scared to death. Coast chilling, just says smoke weed every day. That's what.
Oh, believe me, I can't wait to smoke. If I had like a 5-minute break right now, I'd be like fucking sneaking out to smoke weed.
Go smoke weed. Fire up on here, man. Can you not do that anymore?
I'll do it right now. I don't give a shit.
Fire
but,
up,
like,
live your life, dude. I'm gonna throw in a dipper after this and finish my laundry and smoke a ton of weed and play Donkey Kong Country 2.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
No,
I don't know, man.
Elliot Tucker wants to know. No, what do you play? What's your deal with your musician life?
Back off, war child.
I'm
seriously.
very into like kind of melodic ambient type stuff, and that being said, I was in a melodic Swedish
Wow.
death metal band, or not really
I
death
was in
metal.
a peaceful little harmony, little double bass pedal death metal Satan band where we I'm just kidding.
lots of double kick.
Yeah, we
like kind of.
praise Satan. Yeah, hated.
Oh
yeah.
no, definitely not that. But
I don't
I'm
care.
atheist.
What? I don't. I'm just a barrage. Tom Alvarado.
Alvarado. Oh
Alvarado, man.
shit.
Alvarado
Dude, that's a
Homebrew.
sign.
Wow.
That's a sign because I just brought up smoking weed and Alvarado shows up.
Some days I'm an atheist. Some days I'm the fucking biggest guy praying for shit ever, man. It's just every day is kind of different in my world.
Yeah.
Back
Well,
off,
here's the
child
thing.
series.
Like, I'm just
Everyone's
unapologetic.
everything. Everyone's everything.
Like, I'll never feel bad about being myself, and like that's the thing. Like, that's why I like tell people I'm awkward and like just uncomfortable, because that's who I am and that's what I'm feeling. So I'm just gonna like voice it. It's, believe me, it's not what I wanna feel. It's what is. So I'm gonna like say it just so it's out of the way, and then I can maybe feel a little bit more comfortable. That's literally why I do that. Like, I'm not trying to like fucking be a victim whatsoever. I'm not trying to like get sympathy whatsoever. I'm just like, hey, I feel awkward about this.
Yeah,
So
but
I'm
you're
just gonna,
being
like,
honest. You're being honest.
Yeah.
You're being honest.
Yeah. That's
You want to hear a funny story? So I was in a 7-year relationship with a chick, and I wish her well. I think you're always like, I wish them so well. You're like, do you? Like, but anyway, I started dating this chick, and we went out to, I hope she's listening. It's Kiowaska, and we vibe on each other on the weekends, and I think she's out of my league. I think she's gorgeous. Bruno Tony might know what's up if he's here right now. Oh, Jonathan Elliott's met her. Eric Lane's met her. And I went out on a date with her, and I was just like, pretty much I just did what you just did. And I was like, all right, have a good time. The Padres just got smoked by the Dodgers. Like, have a good one. I don't know how like first dates work. I'm gonna kiss you on your cheek. I suck at this. I'm not from like a Freddie Prinze Jr. movie. She's all that part too. Like, I literally have no idea like how to end a fucking encounter with you. And she literally just like grabbed my face and just like, we just made out in front of the whole parking lot for like 20 minutes. I probably should have gone to BJ that night. I probably could have like, push came to shove. But I'm a gentleman. My mother is a lady. I wasn't raised that way. But I just put all of it out there. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like the biggest fucking idiot ever. Whatever. And it turned her on with like how honest it was. So
right.
It sometimes it works the other way too, man. And we're still hanging out. We're still talking.
Yeah, I've experienced
Jonathan
that as
Elliott's
well.
met her. Like we actually went to North Park Brewing. Phenomenal brewery. It's a good day.
Back off, war child. Seriously.
I have experienced that as well, and that's kind of like why I have that kind of like mindset, is just be yourself always, and like.
Now I'm getting nudes. It's from
What's
Jonathan.
that?
It's from Jonathan Elliott though. I'm getting nudes from Jonathan Elliott.
Oh, good luck.
Him and Eric Lane are having a coconut bra contest. Who's wearing it better? No, I'm just kidding. But I don't know. Just be honest, man, and good shit happens.
Yes,
Back off, war
I
child.
agree
Seriously.
completely.
And I'm still,
No matter what it is, like in your brewing videos or like your relationships or like you're at a bar or you're at like your workplace, just don't be fake. Just be real.
No.
And people will pick up on it.
No, we're at the age where you it's cool to be real now. But growing up, everyone's
Yeah.
fucking so goddamn fake, especially the high schools
of
and junior
course.
highs that I
Yeah.
went to. Everyone's like
Trying to outdo each other and shit.
yeah. Thank God social media wasn't around when I grew up, because we were the social media without like the social media.
Back off, war child. Seriously.
Everybody would just done like anything to be like popular or cool or hot or whatever, and you're just younger, so you buy into it, and then you get to an age where you're like, hey, I only like these 5 people. These are my 5 friends. Every time we hang out, we have a good time. Sometimes other people fuck with me. I'm just gonna hang out with these people. Like that's just kind of like life for everybody. I think.
Back off, war child. Seriously.
Zach Peterson, Clint
Yes.
O'Hare. All right. Here's an advice for me and Noam. Just be honest. And if you're with a girl that's not with you because you're not cool or fake or not have a million followers on Instagram, you're probably way better off. Light years better off. Clint O'Hare, dude, I bro hugged who ended up being my current wife because I was awkward as hell. At the end of bro hugged. What does he say? What's the God, what was I thinking about today? When remember the scene from Old School where I almost stole that scene for a Homebrew Fly video. When Will Ferrell's trying to break up with his chick and he's like, hey, you want to get back together? Go back to my house. We'll put on like the Cisco soundtrack. And she's like, I want a divorce. And he's like a real divorce? She's like, yeah. He's like, all right. And he gives her like a fist pound. He's like, all right, just keep on trucking. Just give her like the stay golden pony boy, ship shape. Yeah.
Killing it, dude.
Yeah. Just keep on trucking on. Just truck on and truck on. Yeah, I was legitimately like that. And now I have a good time with Kiowa every weekend. She's a little girl. She's watching this.
Elliot Tucker, I agree with you completely. So we do one more. I'll be right back. Let me grab another beer.
Uno más.
What do you guys think?
You want a divorce? That's a good name for a beer. Like a real divorce? Like a real divorce IPA?
Like really?
Yeah. I want a divorce. Like a real one?
Is this a split batch?
Yeah. Is this a split divorce? Is this single?
Right, I'll be right back.
Single MILFs and single housewives?
Yeah, exactly. I'll be right back.
We'll do one more. I got two more. I'm not going to bed tonight. Donnie kissed my ass. I have flaked on him like 4 times in a row though. Always be honest. Always. When it comes to real shit, Yeast and the Beast apps. When it comes to being yourself, yeah. When your mother-in-law invites you over and she's like, "Hey, how's like that Italian food?" And you're like, "Hey, it's great." You're like, "I'd rather eat tomatoes from Taco Bell." That's a good time to lie. Sometimes it's a good time to lie. It's a good time to lie when it comes down to just giving somebody a compliment. That's when it's the best time to lie. When it comes down to being respectful and like just giving a compliment. Like, how is that this or that? It's like, well, you're my mother-in-law and this is the first time I met you. So like everything was great. That tuna salad was delicious. Theron. Someone here? Theron, mandatory beer chuck. We'll get down. Theron, here we go, man. SpongeBob's dancing again. Yeast in the Barrage. Epic Beard Barrage. Jules Games Art, still here. Jules Game Art. I've still got some art from him, man. I got to pull some of that shit up. I got to revamp my old personal Instagram account. Because he made me look like Mega Man 2, and it was great. Yeast in the Barrage. At this point, after 13 years of marriage, if I was back on the market, I'd just hit the gym until the chicks hit on me. You sound like a way better, stronger man than me. Because if I go to the gym, everybody fucking just laughs at me. They don't laugh at me, but I am not standing out in any way whatsoever. I'm sticking to YouTube. I'm sticking to brewing beer. Anybody use Williamette hops? I miss Williamette hops, Hector Tapetti. I feel like I haven't used Williamette in a long time. 5 pounds on the cheap. Is that from Yakima Valley? Williamette was the shit, man. Williamette was the shit back in I don't know. Hops are like cars. Hops are like fashion. Everyone stares at my moose knuckle. Everyone. Hector Tabetti. More beer 19 for 5 pounds. Everybody just stares at my moose knuckle. When I go to the gym, I'm just like, what the fuck, man? All right, here we go.
Oh.
Here we go. All right. Let's lock it down. Should we pull one more person in here? Does anyone want to come in here?
Let's do it. Somebody.
Who do we want? Who should we vote on? Do we want Yeast in the Barrage? Do we want John Finley?
Yeast in the Beast, yes.
Yeast in the Barrage?
Yeast.
Do we
Get
want
the fuck here, dude.
Coach Chillin? Do we want Hector Tapetti? Do we want Ron Barnes?
Either Yeast or Jonathan, in my opinion.
They both.
Or maybe Alvarado. He hasn't shown.
Alvarado's never been on, man. Dude. He's afraid. Oh,
where
Tom's
you at?
saying Yeast. All right. Yeast is going to come out here like fucking storming in here like Razor Ramon, dude. Just walking down with like a cape or something. Yeast!
I'm ugly, so nobody has any excuse. So
I'm uglier. Dumb and Dougly.
Get out of here.
What's their names from Alice in Wonderland?
Dude, I saw your post with Robin Quivers, I think is her name.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
Like, you look like a baby-faced motherfucker.
You know that story? Everybody saw that story? That's one of the best days of my life. That's one of my heroes.
Really?
Yeah, I grew up with Howard Stern and Robert Quivers.
Oh, okay.
So I graduated from Sonoma State, and I had a wine business degree, and I got a job at a place called Flora Springs. And it was cool. And the winery sucked. Like, it actually sucked. There's like a million other better wineries there. But we shared a parking lot with like the nicest it's called Dean and DeLuca, the marketplace. There's only like 2 in the world. There's one in Napa and there's one in like Manhattan. And I went in there and like it's Napa. There's no anything. There's no Asian people. There's like, if I saw Lieutenant Dan there from Forrest Gump. I saw Tyra Banks there.
Lieutenant Dan.
I saw Robin Quivers there. And I'm going over to Dean and DeLuca. And I'm in there getting coffee. And the only reason I was there is because we got like a discount. And I saw Robin Quivers. I was like, you're the only black person here. Like,
how did that not break?
What?
You didn't hear that?
I didn't hear that.
Oh, a bottle just, I like tried to like bring
No.
it.
And I'm looking at it. I'm just like, we have to take a picture. Like this. Everybody here is
Oh
like
my God.
old, rich, like white money. Anybody here that's a minority, it's like, who are you? Like something's here. It's like Enrique Iglesias, like somebody's here. And I look at her and I get closer to her and she's actually in the beer aisle. She's in the beer aisle. And I go up to her. I was like, hey, like you're Robin Quivers, right? And she's like, yeah. And she's got the tattoo on her titty right here. She's got a tattoo. I think it's a bee or a grape or something. It's very small.
Yeah, it's noticeable.
It's noticeable. And I'm like, hey, I work right next door. Like, can you come over? Like, I want to get you drunk for free and give you a bunch of bottles of wine. I don't care if I get fired. Like, I grew up watching Howard Stern
hilarious.
show. Yeah. And I'm like, what are you doing here? And I found out she has a fetish. She has this fetish where she likes to go to Napa, drink a bunch of wine, and have sex with white guys half her age. Like, yeah. Like I
Quite the fetish.
I found that out after. I didn't know, but I was
Very
single at the time.
specific.
Yeah, and they're probably like, she's probably 60. Howard Stern's probably like late 60s, you know. But this is probably 12 years ago. She's probably late 40s. I'm probably like 22, 23. But I'm talking to her. I'm
You look like Babyface in that picture.
I'm 23 years old. I'm 23 years old.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I go up to her and I'm like, do I have to delete this chat tomorrow? Do I come off like a racist or anything? Or I know how when white people talk nowadays, everyone wants to call people out. But this is like real life, like how I'm thinking. And I'm talking to her and I'm like, hey, can I get a picture with you? And she's like, absolutely. And we take a picture and she looks great. And I'm like, what are you doing later? I'm like, are you on vacation? Like, can we get a drink? And she's like, I said something stupid. I was like, are you guys, she's worth $100 million. She's like, I'm fucking
easy.
making $15 an hour. She's like, what the fuck's going on? Get the fuck out of my face, kid. But I made her laugh. And I was like, what did I say? She's like, I'm on vacation. And I was like, oh, you get like your 2 weeks off. And she was like, we get a lot more time than that. And she started laughing. And just how I said it or what I said, she started busting up. And I went back and I looked at the Howard Stern show. They were playing like reruns for like 3 months. Like they were all on like a big vacation. They could do whatever they want.
Yeah,
and they could
at some point they actually produced very little content, actually.
Yeah. Am I telling a story or am I fucking bragging? Well, long story short, I asked her out. She said no. But I did hear she was out with a fucking guy that was like in his late 20s later on that whole weekend. And I was like, fuck, man. I had a shot with Robin Quivers. And I don't know. But what I do know is that it's not going to happen again. That was 15. No, that was. Yeah, it was about 12 years ago. Well, I tried to take it. I'm not bragging at all. I'm bragging that it made her laugh. But I'm not bragging that she shut me down, man. But it's all good. Life happens. And I saw Lieutenant Dan. I saw Tyra Banks. And you know what's funny about Lieutenant Dan was that he came in with his buddies and we're like, hey, are you like Gary Sinise from Forrest Gump? He's like, no, absolutely not. Like, no. Because they have to do that. Celebrities are like, no, I'm not that guy. I'm not. Unless you're like, dude, you are fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone. Like, you were that. There's no... You're jacked. You have an accent. But if you're like a Gary Sinise guy or kind of like, you know, a B+, A-, Lister Hollywood, you're like, you can kind of get away with saying like, you know what, I'm not that guy. Like, no, I get that a lot. I just get that a lot. Because there's a lot of people that aren't that guy that are like, I just get that a lot. But we got him super drunk that night. And after like the third drink or whatever, his buddies were calling him Lieutenant Dan. They weren't calling him Gary Sinise. I was like, you're fucking
Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah, I was like, you're Lieutenant Dan. He's like, I am, man. Like, no pictures, whatever. Let's get a drink. Yeah, he was super cool. He's like, we're just up here in Napa having a good time. He was probably 50 at the time. I'm still the same age, 22, 23, 24. He's like, yeah, I'm Gary Sinise. Like, but everywhere I go my whole life, someone's like, Lieutenant Dan, Lieutenant Dan,
Yeah.
Lieutenant Dan. I was like, yeah, I get it, man. It sucks. It's not cool. He has legs in real life. He definitely has legs. He has legs in real life. But we're kind of floating in dangerous waters territory. No, we've got one more, right? Mandatory beer chug? Oh, shit. Here we go.
I'm trying to show Zach the
Gary Sinise is a cool guy.
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
With such a delay, I feel bad. Like I'm like holding shit for like super long, and I'm like, oh, okay, I see it, and then like fucking. Yeah, I'm down for whatever, man. I have like literally until you like say, hey, fucking go to sleep, asshole.
No, I've got to do laundry or else my shit's gonna get moldy because I've had like clothes in the dryer for like 2 days, clothes in the washer and in the dryer for like 2 days.
Grab another one.
He's going in. They're on. So yeah, I'll brag. Am I bragging? Here we go. All right, he's got new shit.
So this is 83 Telly.
Lieutenant Dan, you got Lang.
Zach. Lieutenant Dan.
He wants to do a 24-hour stream. Tom wants to do 24. There's no way that's even humanly possible. I mean, it is if you're not mixing alcohol involved.
Zeus lefty. You're a left-handed guitar. Okay.
I'm a lefty too.
Oh really?
No, that was cool, man. Tyra Banks.
There you go.
Robin Quivers and Gary Sinise. Martha Stewart was super cool to me too. I actually saw her when I was in San Diego. The only guy that was a piece of shit, only guy that was ever a piece of shit, because I've always been in like guest services, was Chris Collinsworth sucked. He's the guy that does the NFL commentary.
NFL, yeah. Hey, here's a guy that no, that's the other dude.
My buddy got stiff from Tiger Woods after he won the something in San Diego where he went into overtime against this guy named Rocco. Oh, he gave him $5, and I mean that's typically if you're in that position at valet or guest services, you get a little bit more money than that. But David Allen Greer stiffed us. The shitty kid from Malcolm in the Middle stiffed us. The Reese motherfucker.
Oh damn! Yeast has called me out. Damn.
Gnome chug slow because he has a gnome-sized belly. Yeast is calling you out.
Damn.
My only celebrity sighting was Roy Williams. He was the coach at Kansas. Oh. He came into the barbecue I was working at. Didn't see too many subs in the Midwest.
That's such a southern thing. Like, oh, well, and then he came into a southern restaurant.
Wait, Kansas or North Carolina? We're talking.
He was the governor, but then he ended up, servicing a.
We're talking about Kansas. We're talking about North Carolina. Collinsworth sucked all around. We drove him around. I think he had a bad day at golf, and I was actually the guy that was opening up his van door and sliding in a step thing for him. Got his golf clubs out, which is way more than anything you would ever do to somebody who you're just pulling their car up for. Oh, he was at Kansas before North Carolina. Okay. And Chris Collinsworth. You know what's funny is you see John Madden, Chris Collinsworth, all these guys without makeup. They look like fucking ghosts. They look like Casper. They look like Casper and Silly Putty had a kid. He was not having it. I don't know. You know what? I caught him at an off day. Who knows? Some days they're probably throwing around a couple $100. You can't judge somebody based off that. But we do got to get out of here. No, anything else? What can we promote, brother?
I got nothing. I ranted all I could rant.
What else we got? Any more questions for Gnome?
But thanks for having me on. Like seriously, like
This is fun,
awesome.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, I had. This is awesome.
Cheers to Hector, man. We'll do an NBC. We'll get out of here.
Yeah. Let's see. Here we go.
Tom Chambers of the Phoenix Suns was a racist asshole, and Horace Grant from the Bulls was cool as fuck. I think we talked about this, Tom. Tom Chambers of the Phoenix Suns. I don't know that. I don't know. All right, guys, we're out here. 42 people still watching. Big shout out to Gnome. Check out his channel. And big shout out to everybody who's still here right now. Yeast has been here from the get-go. Clayton Gerard, Jonathan Elliott, Zach Pearson, Mandatory Beer Chug. All right, we're out of here. We're out of here. 3, 2.
I know what we have to do.
What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What?
Just say it! M. Say it.
B.
Say when.
C.